guys. Hello, spooky friends, and welcome to another live broadcast of the Scary-ish podcast Storytime.
Woo! Super excited. Things have been going fairly well so far with
Everything
the broadcast.
Worked.
I had to shut it down and restart it one time just because some settings reverted, but that's not that bad. But that said, Robin, what is a Storytime episode?
So, for those who it is the first time ever joining us, Storytimes are where we read our friends here's homegrown horrors.
The stuff that you guys send us. A homegrown horror is like a paranormal experience that you guys have sent to us. And also, we didn't introduce ourselves, so I'll let you do that.
I'm Robin Grace, and this is...
Adam Diaz?
Yep.
I think I have to be, but that works for me.
We're your lovely hosts for today, and hopefully always.
Let's hope so. But yeah, so if you have a homegrown horror or any sort of personal experience you'd like to share with the show, you can email storytime@scarish.com. You can go to facebook.com/scaryishpodcast, message us there. You can also like the page. At the time we started this, we were at 498 likes for the page, so we're 2 away from 500, which will activate a giveaway that Robin's very excited about. She's been planning this for a little while, so...
Well, I mean... It's just going to be any other giveaway. It's so awesome that we'll finally get to be at 500, and it'll be all thanks to all of you. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it'll be really exciting. And if you have liked the page and you want to get some instant feedback, you can go to the group, which is a fun place to be. We post a bunch of fun stuff. You can also join the Discord as well if you want to post something for instant feedback.
Yeah.
And if you want to tweet at us, it's @ScaryishPod. So that said, before we move on, go ahead and mark that. Cool. So thank you to everyone that's joining us on the YouTube and on the Twitch channel. We really appreciate you guys. We did hit affiliate status within like the first 3 or 4 weeks of doing this, and that's really awesome. I mean, I have a personal Twitch account. I've never come close to affiliate status, so it's made possible by you guys.
Yeah, this is like the coolest thing.
And
it's awesome.
I want to explain a little bit because I know a lot of you guys have started using Twitch so that you can watch the show and aren't that familiar with it. But with affiliate status, basically, we are able to have what's known as a subscribe button, so you can subscribe to the channel. And I guess they've added different tiers for subscribing now. So there's the standard tier, which is $4.99 a month. It's just a way where you guys can help us out a little bit.
$10, like $9.99, you get like an extra emote or something.
I think
right?
so, yeah. And then $24.99, there's another level where you can help us out even more and get more stuff to interact. The subscribers, we got our first subscriber, which was Carly. Thank you so much, Carly. You're the best. Carly's also the person who built the Discord for us out of the kindness of her heart. We just got a donation too. Awesome.
What? You guys are so cool.
That came from KKBZ, and they said, "Woo!" I didn't scream it because I realized I was way too close to the mic.
Ears out.
I should probably lean back. They did just donate $5 to us for that, so
woo! My ears. My poor ears.
If you guys want me to blow out Robin's eardrums, just go ahead and donate more money, and I'd be more than happy
please
to.
Don't.
But that said, if you guys have an Amazon Prime account, which most of us do, I know you have one and I have one.
Everybody in the Twitch right now that has like a crown next to your name has a Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
Twitch Prime account.
The reason behind that is that they own Twitch, and you get one free subscription per month to any channel you want, and now you can use that at Scary-ish's Twitch channel.
Yeah.
So we're very excited to have that, and we would appreciate it if you guys want to donate that to us. If not, no big deal. We totally understand. But yeah, that's something that we can do now, and then there's going to be an emote as well.
Yeah, I have to design them first, so I have to try to figure out like a special thing that I want for Twitch.
Yeah, something like probably logo related, I'm guessing.
Yeah, or like with the ghosts somehow.
If we can get to, not affiliate, but partner, if we can get to Twitch partner, you get a lot more emotes. And I would want one that says, like, it's the ghost going, like, bullshit. And that way you guys can use that when we're reading stories. That would be fun to do, too.
I want to make one that's like, bye, Ashley.
That would be really good, too.
Or something.
That said, when we're not online and you guys are doing this stuff, sometimes this program actually works right, and it keeps a track of the people who are following or subscribing. So Robin's going to read the first story this week.
Yeah.
And I'm going to run the notifications so that you guys can hear the spooky sound. And more importantly, you guys can get credit for those of you who followed us or subscribed, because we really appreciate it. That said, B Nelson0413 just followed us. So thank you, B Nelson.
Oh, nice.
We appreciate that. So do you want to jump into the first story, or do you want to do some Twitch chat stuff first?
Oh, yeah, let's do some Twitch chat first.
All right, we'll jump into the Twitch chat before we... stream chat. You guys have to take a shot now. That's what we said. We said we're going to start the drinking game this week. So if you guys have your booze with you, please don't die. But yeah, let's look at some of this chat.
Alrighty. Oh, it's not that long. But Momentai does say, Robin, just to let you know, it was delicious pho. And I'm so jealous because I don't think I've had any in it has to be years.
Yeah, we haven't gone to a Vietnamese place in a long time.
We eat a lot of ramen, like a lot of ramen, but we don't really go to Vietnamese restaurants, and I don't know why. It's like in my blood, and I just don't. I'm dumb. And growing whores organically.
I like that one.
I really like that one.
I just saw that one too. That's good.
But yeah, I think that's it. Oh, bye, Felicia.
KebKebZ. I think I said it wrong when they gave us the money, but KebKebZ just subscribed as well. So thank you so much for subscribing.
Yeah,
we really
thank you
appreciate
so
that.
much. You guys are so awesome.
You guys really are. It means a whole lot to us because when we started this, like totally honest, like when we started this is the podcast we wanted to listen to.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we thought anyone else would want to listen to it, much less give us money or watch us.
I don't think we're very funny.
We'll get into people's cars that we know, and sometimes the show will be on, and we'll be like, "Can you please listen to something else?"
Yeah, my sister listens to it all the time, and I'm just like, "Please change it, music, something else."
It's like I have to edit it, and then hearing my own voice, and then hearing it go through stuff. Plus, I have to take out the stupid stuff we say sometimes. So it's like, yeah. That said,
and then what is this? Ulrika Wolf says, "Does water count?" I say yes, and stay hydrated.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Shadow Regalia says, "I made it, yes." I wanted to read all the yeses, and then later says, "My body is ready."
Oh my god.
That's how I read it in that voice, so if that's not how you said it, it's not my fault. You just look at Twitch chat, and you make everyone laugh at the chat. Well, yeah, you guys are hilarious, and you make this so much fun.
You guys make it fun, and yeah. We legit could not do it without you because you guys are so funny and hilarious, and the memes that I see every day, right. Oh my god.
Storytime used to be my favorite thing to do because I didn't have to do research, and I got to read your guys' story, and now Storytime's my favorite thing to do because we get to interact with you guys.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite part of the week is being able to talk to everyone. And I understand that there are a lot of you that live in different time zones, and
sucks.
So it's like really late, and I was thinking that maybe in a future episode down the line, we'll do something where it's super late for us.
That'd be cool.
A good time for you guys, and maybe that'll work out. And
we might do an extra bonus episode or something like that. That would be funny.
Cool, yeah.
Funny? That would be fun. That's what I meant to say.
It's not even...
I'm on 2 cups of coffee right now, so...
Okay.
But right on. So let's go ahead and jump into an actual story. So, Robin, you're going to go first. Yes,
I will go first. This one is going to be from Ronald, and it's a sleep paralysis story, so let's get into it. I used to sleep with my older sister. We shared a room because it was a small house.
Yeah, Game of Thrones type stuff.
You are disgusting.
She's not older, though. Jamie's older, I'm pretty sure.
I
shared a bed. I get what they were trying to say.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to make it gross.
I'm
wearing a Game of Thrones shirt. Don't hit me.
Okay.
I'm holding coffee.
I grew up sharing a bed with my 2 sisters, so I get it. That's just, when you're in a small house.
Tell us more.
We only had 2 bedrooms. It was 5 people. You just live that way. Anyway, the story goes, I used to be a heavy sleeper, so even if I fell off the bed, I would have probably not even woken up. I woke up on the floor, and it was dark, only a little moonlight. I remember I tried calling my sister, but no words came out.
Ooh, that's creepy.
Yeah.
When you realize you can't talk, that's when it's like, oh, shit just got real.
Yeah, when you can't scream or anything, or like you feel like you are screaming and nothing is coming out. Those types of nightmares freak me out.
That's why I try and sleep with one eye open.
Do you grip your pillow tight?
I do.
How many times are you going to make the... Okay.
We have a scary podcast where we talk about sleep paralysis, so I'm guessing at least once an episode I'll probably make that joke.
Okay. It continues. I started freaking out a bit and started basically shaking, almost like there was an earthquake inside of me and I couldn't control it. It was enough to wake me up, and I guess my brain just went into panic mode, almost like forcefully woke me up because I wouldn't handle it. I blacked out and woke up on top of the bed, but I couldn't understand what happened. Since I couldn't move or speak, oh geez, my best guess is that it was sleep paralysis since it was the only time that happened. I'm now 23 and I can still remember.
Yeah, that shit sticks with you.
Yeah. Like, sleep paralysis is just...
It's like, I used to think of it as like teleporting because I'd fall asleep one place. This is sleepwalking for me, but I'd fall asleep one place and I'd wake up somewhere else. But the thought of like you falling asleep and then waking up in a completely different position has been more scary to me than being frozen in my sleep, because that shit used to happen to me growing up.
Yeah.
So, right on. That was creepy.
Yeah,
it was short, but that was good.
Yeah. Thank you, Ronald, for sharing with us. We have another story from Ronald, but we're going to split it up. I'm going to read it after another story. So.
Right on. Cool.
Yeah.
So, lots of hand gestures. They're very dangerous. I've been struck by her before while we're doing this. So.
Also, while sleeping.
Yes, this is very true. I've been uppercutted like in Street Fighter while sleeping, and it's not fun stuff. So some people fight in their sleep. So now I have a barrier pillow between the two of us as a buffer zone, so I won't be struck. But it doesn't always work. So right on. We just got another follower. 777 has followed. Thank you so much. I ran the stuff for the people who followed in the middle of the week as well, so I'll just give those quick shout outs as well.
Oh, nice.
We had Casdarian. We had Amanta112, Saffle Cake. Emma Det was today as well. So thank you to those folks. And then, of course, 777, who I just mentioned.
Nice. And just so you guys know, we are building up a little collection of mugs over here. My coworker actually just picked up a Haunted Mansion / Pirates of the Caribbean,
whatever you want it to be,
mug for me from Disneyland. If you guys ever go to Disneyland, get me stuff. I will always take Disney stuff, like especially Haunted Mansion stuff.
She takes a lot of free stuff, yeah. We have an addiction to coffee mugs. Like, my biggest thing when we started doing this live was that I would be able to show you guys shirts, because I like wearing graphic tees, and coffee mugs. And I'm drinking from my Bears mug today because the football season's about to start.
I
Go
made
Bears.
this one.
She did make that one. It looks like Up, and it's fancy, and it's themed, and it's very special. But yeah, so if you guys ever send us anything, the P.O. box is on the website. I can tell you that we'll like anything that you send us, but if you send us coffee mugs, you'll likely see it on the show.
Yeah.
So, good stuff.
Yeah.
So should I transition and move into mine, or should we do some stream chat?
Let's do stream chat. It's
do stream chat, okay.
It's busy.
You start. Yeah,
okay.
There's a lot going on. I can see it in the peripheral scrolling up a bunch. So I saw someone during that just say, can you turn down the following music? Can't hear you guys while it's playing. I just moved it down, so hopefully that won't be a problem. It might be too low, but I'd rather have that than something like spooky wooing over Robin. That's my job. God damn it.
Okay. Let's see. Yes, Nate and C, you can subscribe now. You can also cheer us. So if you guys have bits and stuff, you guys can do that, which is awesome.
Ulrich Kevoff says, "Go Bears." Fuck yeah, go Bears. MTV says hair. It just says hair. So I'm guessing that there was more to that before that.
The time zone we're in. So Pokey Blue asked what time zone we're in. What are we in?
We're in Pacific.
Okay,
yeah, this is the Pacific time zone.
Pacific Standard Time. So West Coast. West Coast.
Copyrighted Snake says incest for the win. That's gross, but I like the reference.
Oh my god.
You can't say that pee is stored in balls. We have some very significant. What's the good word for it? I can't even think of it now after I just read that. Sophisticated Twitch chat going on. All hail Zaboomafoo from Pandavirus X1 on YouTube. That's great.
We're at 98 out of 100. Carly pointed out on the follower goal for the Twitch, which is awesome.
I will say that is probably inaccurate because I reran some of the people who followed us. I think we're closer to like 94.
Okay, boo, fix it. Okay.
I could fix it, but I'd have to mess with stuff while we're doing this. So let's just leave it there. Y'all need to sell Scarish mugs right now. We're very close to having merchandise ready for you guys to buy. And like, we're looking for, Roman says hi. I say hi back. We're looking for a service basically that can let us upload designs or themes or stuff like that. So logos, catchphrases, any of the things that we have for sale. And then you guys can customize what product you want it on. It's like a t-shirt, sweatpants, hoodies,
yeah, so that's
cups,
what I'm
mugs, shit like that.
Working on right now.
Yeah, so we're trying to get the service. The people, MDI Apparel, that worked with us to give you guys the first t-shirt, the I Was First t-shirt, is a service similar to that. So we might be going through them. We're not exactly quite sure what's going to happen at this point because it's, it's rough with one of us, this one, being unemployed, trying to do like startup fees and like monthly fees for the sort of shops that would give you guys the best options versus us trying to buy stuff out of pocket, being worried about the quality of it, and then sending it again through the mail to you when you order it. So we're looking for something that's a little bit smarter, that's better for you. But yeah, we're excited to get as much stuff as possible up, because I would love to have just Scarish merch that you guys could buy whenever, because that would just be beneficial for everyone. If you guys want to wear it, we want you to. So.
Yeah, all I can do is make stickers. So I just have stickers and pins that I can just mail out right now. Which if you haven't checked out the Etsy store yet, go to etsy.com/shop/Robin's Kawaii Corner.
Or you can go to scarish.com and scroll to the bottom and click the button than trying to put that long URL on there, because that can be a bit much sometimes.
Yeah.
So.
Momenta asked, how's school? School sucks.
She just started.
It just started.
She said
yesterday.
1 day so far.
I have class tomorrow, but I have like Calc 3 and statics, and it's not fun. Nope. My
No, it
brain. My
doesn't. It
brain
doesn't sound
is just,
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Cool.
your story.
Right on.
Your turn.
So I'm gonna go ahead and move into my first of the evening, and it's titled "My Haunted House Story," and it starts out like this: Hey there, Adam and Robin.
Hello.
Hello. And all the spooky lovers out there. I'm Jace, and then they gave me the pronunciation of the name, which I nailed. And I've been listening to your guys' pod since episode 1, not the first one. So I guess not episode 0 since episode 1,
okay.
which is okay. And I love this podcast so much I can't explain it. It's really nice.
Yeah.
You guys can read my story on the podcast. That would mean the world to me. Well, here you go. We're
Here's
about to
your
do
world.
that. I lived in 2 haunted houses, and I'll start with the one I live in now.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Why?
The house I live in currently is where my mom grew up, and it was built for my grandmother and her children. This is a story from my mom about the house, so I don't have a ton of detail about it. When my mom was around 13 years old, her mom got a Ouija board.
Ugh.
The 600 one that Warner Brothers sold. I don't know what that means.
I've never heard of that one.
Yeah.
Send us a picture
Yeah.
if you guys know what the 600 Ouija board is.
I don't know.
Yeah, I never heard of it.
My mom and her friend Scott decided to play with it since no one was home. It was the 80s or something, so it was a game to them. Yeah, because back in the 80s, it was a game.
Was
It's
it?
always no. It's
Oh.
always been something that you shouldn't mess with.
I wouldn't know. We didn't. Well, growing up, we didn't have creepy stuff like that. Legit, my mom was like, "Don't watch horror movies. You don't need that junk in your head." And
Needs to be in your trunk.
I hate you.
What are you gonna do with all that junk?
Move on.
Okay, getting back to the emails. So my mom and her friend put it away. Oh, no, I skipped ahead. Spoilers for everyone. It was the 80s or something. So they played in my mom's room, which is my room now.
Oh,
That sucks.
gosh.
They started playing, everything was fine. I'm joking. The opposite happened. Good joke.
Okay.
I appreciate that. When they started to play, the power turned off.
Ugh.
Then my mom's closet door was violently pulled off of its hinges.
What?
My mom and her friend put it away and put it in the basement, in parentheses, an unfinished basement.
But
I like that
how do
detail.
you explain to your parents, like, my closet door just happened to get ripped off?
I don't know. So my mom moved back into her childhood home when I was in 5th grade. So I was 10 and I got her old room. My room is at the end of a long, narrow hallway that I couldn't walk down without a light on. When I went to bed, I would often wake up at 3 a.m.
No.
It's always 3 a.m.
No.
Since I was always a huge fan of the paranormal, I wanted a Ouija board. It's actually an Ouija board, and they spelled it correctly because it starts with an O, but it just looks weird. And I never knew why. It was like when I saw one, I was just in awe. So for my 13th birthday,
no.
my mom gave me her old
No.
Ouija board, but her Ouija board didn't have the word spelling thing, so I used, the planchette. Didn't have a planchette, so I used a shot glass. Why would you give your kid a Ouija board? Why don't you just give them
No.
like some sacrificial goat blood and a handgun and just be done with it?
This is like asking for trouble. It's legit asking for trouble.
On the first night of having it, I tried using it and it didn't work. So I put it in the closet. Bad idea. All night I heard taps and noises, so I
No.
told the darkness
No.
to shut the hell up.
Nope.
And it did. The next few days, I started playing with it. I started playing it with my younger brother and got the names Mama, Zozo, etc.
No.
Zozo
no.
is one that I've done some
I just
stuff.
got chills.
Zozo's
No,
one that
that's
I've done some
bullshit.
stuff
No.
on. I know Robin is screaming. Why? That's awesome. Way to predict that. I wonder if the Ouija board told him that would happen. The energy wasn't that strong, so I said bullshit. But it was evil. You can feel it. So I asked questions like, who were the last people to use this? Did you know Scott? And when I asked, did you know Scott, I flipped my shit when it wrote out the answer. The demon or whatever spelled out, I drove him to jumping. My mom's friend jumped off a bridge and killed himself.
No, he didn't. Oh my God, no.
I knew it was a lie, but I said goodbye to the board and put it away. And I have terrible dreams. One of them was me going to school and going to my locker and seeing my friend. And then I was going to tell her something about this demon. And then I was being choked by something I couldn't see and being dragged up the lockers.
I can't, dude.
I woke up at 3 a.m. and ran to the bathroom feeling sick. I turned on the light and saw myself in the mirror and saw the pink marks around my neck.
Fuck this. No. And this is only the first house. I can't even.
I'll leave you guys. Sorry that it's all over the place. My writing isn't the best. I don't know what you expected. I'll probably send in more stories. Also, since I live in Michigan, we've had a lot of people send in from Michigan lately. Since I live in Michigan, about an hour from Hell, Michigan, I convinced my mom to drive me to a bridge in the middle of nowhere. Why? I hope this podcast continues to grow. I can't wait for more episodes and YouTube stuff and whatever you two have in the future. Keep on being you. Sincerely, Jace.
Why? So much why? Why name a town named Hell? Like,
I think it's pronounced Detroit, but I'm
that's
not sure.
Fucked up.
I know. It's
That's
a lot of
really
shit talking.
mean.
Hey, I'm drinking from a Bears mug, so what are you going to do?
Next time I'm just going to have my Cowboys mug. Like,
I thought you were going to pick your Cowboys mug, to be honest
No.
with you. She's a Cowboys fan. Can't stand it. But hey, it is what it is. So that was actually really good. So
That was really
I really
good.
appreciate that. So
I,
thank
like,
you for sending that in,
chills,
Jace.
Just like, no.
Good story. Very, very good story. I just don't know why a parent would give their kid a Ouija board. Like, I don't know any parents who were like cool with a kid playing with a Ouija board. I know some friends who had Ouija boards growing up. But like every time we'd even get it out, the parents would be like, you shouldn't play with that. You know what I mean? So just kind of weird.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look over at Stream Chat and see if they have any feelings on the subject. You okay?
Yeah. That was just
Copyrighted
super
Steak said,
stressful.
no, it's pronounced Michigan. Get it? Hell, Michigan. He's talking shit about Michigan as a state versus just the city of Detroit.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's so mean.
Zozo is actually Zaboomafoo, says 777.
Dude,
that is funny.
Okay, my friend Rothman made that amazing Zaboomafoo video. You guys need to go to the Facebook group and just find that post because he made an amazing video about like ghost laughter recorded in one of the episodes.
It's so funny.
And I died laughing because
I
I was scared.
I laughed
was legit
so
scared.
fucking hard. I was in the house alone. I was watching it, and I was like, turn down the volume just so it's not a jump scare.
Yeah, see, I thought it was going to be a jump
It was
scare.
so
I
fucking
had
funny.
my phone flipped over. Like, I didn't want to look at it. And I was just, like, listening. And I just couldn't. I was like, no, I'm not going to. And it ended up being the most hilarious thing. You guys need to watch it. What else? I be robbing these houses. That's fucking hilarious.
That's good.
Um,
Statics is easy. Everything equals 0. I've heard that said to her before, and it's absolutely not true. I've looked at those
Yeah.
equations, and it's a goddamn nightmare.
It's rough. It's super rough. I'm
Copyrighted
not
Snake
smart.
says, keep the junk in the trunk so you can funk. That should be a bumper sticker, I think.
Barber deep do. What other physical items are you scared of? I don't know. Haunted items, antiques. I don't do like the vintage Victorian era stuff. Like
There's not a whole lot of
dolls,
physical items that I'm really scared
dolls
of.
I can't do.
Yeah, maybe like living creatures would be a physical item, but that seems like it's in a different category. Carly says, my sister and I rented The Exorcist once when we were still living at home, and my mom seriously took it from us and left it on the front porch overnight until we could return it when Blockbuster opened the next day. LOL.
That's freaking hilarious.
That is hilarious. I remember my parents telling me stories about The Exorcist when I was a kid. They're like, they remembered when it came out in theaters, and they said that one person had a heart attack while watching it, and then someone else, a lady, went into labor while watching it because she was so fucking scared. And I remember people always saying, like, it's the scariest movie of all time. And then Blair Witch came out, and then everyone said that about Blair Witch, which is definitely not the scariest movie of all time. It's definitely nauseating because it's filmed with the fucking handy cam.
Yeah. I can't stand the found footage movies. I get so nauseous. I think I went to watch Quarantine, and I had to leave like an hour, not even an hour, in 45 minutes. It was gross. It was bad. So 777 says, I feel ya, nursing school just started. I could
Nursing
not
school's
do
rough.
nursing because that's a lot more than just books and organic chemistry. No thanks.
And on top of that, when you're done with nursing school, you get to become a nurse, which is a fuck ton of work. So that sucks. Roman says, do you want to hear a creepy riddle? What walks on 4, then 2, and then 3?
People?
I don't know.
No, not people. We don't have 4. No, we do. Babies. And then we stand up when we're older on 2. And then when you're really old, then you walk with a cane. So you have 3.
Okay, I guess that works.
So what's the
Is
actual
that right?
answer?
Ulrich Kovic. I can't really see the name. My eyes are gone. Ulrich. I'm just going to go with Ulrich. Ulrich says, what is the scariest movie of all time? A baby.
Yeah.
So, scariest movie of all time for you. What's the movie that scared you the most, Robin?
Probably The Ring. And that's when I was younger, right? Okay, so that was a scary movie for me growing up. But if I watched it now, it wouldn't be super scary. But that was like one of the first horror movies I ever watched, other than The Sixth Sense, and I don't really consider The Sixth Sense a horror movie as much as it is suspense.
Yeah, it's very suspenseful.
So,
From M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong, master of suspense. For me, it's Nightmare on Elm Street. Freddy Krueger scared the shit out of me growing up, and even until I was in like high school, whenever I'd watch the movie, I'd have nightmares. So I had like a recurring nightmare. I think I've talked about it on the podcast before. I had a recurring nightmare when I was a kid from like 4 till I was like 8, like every single night of Freddy Krueger like stalking me to kill me.
Yeah.
And it was horrible. Yeah, so that one definitely fucked my shit up. For my dad, the movie The Thing with
Really?
Kurt Russell. Yeah, he used to, because like at some point in that movie it takes over a dog.
Okay.
And he used to have a dream that he would be like fighting the dog off in his sleep, and like he'd wake up like fighting stuff and sweating and shit. So yeah, that would do it for me. That's my scariest movie.
Keb says he's excited for The Nun, or they're excited for The Nun. Sorry.
I'm super excited for The Nun. I was so happy. I convinced everyone to go see Tag because I was like, it's a bunch of douchebags like that are adults that still act like children.
Yeah.
It's just like me and my friends. We need to go see this. So I made everyone go see the movie I wanted to see, and they had the fucking trailer for The Nun.
Yeah.
And
everyone freaked out.
No one wanted to watch that trailer but me, and I'm like, yeah, there's going to be a jump scare in this. And my cousin was there, and when the jump scare happened at the end of the trailer, she screamed and like covered her eyes with her hands, like shaking.
Bad.
I was like, I bet you didn't expect to see that shit when we're coming to see an R-rated comedy. Like, I was so happy that they put that marketing in the theater.
Horrible.
It's perfect.
Watching YouTube, they're putting a million Nun advertisements on
everywhere.
all the videos. And so I can't escape this creepy looking nun. And you know how much I hate that stupid nun.
Yeah.
So it's like, ah,
eventually, we might attend a pop culture conference out here. What is it called?
Vegas Fusion?
Yeah.
Fusion Fest?
We might go
Something
to
like
that, and I kind of want someone to cosplay as the nun on roller skates. So they're just like floating everywhere.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking awesome and super, super creepy.
Oh my God.
But right on. Do you want to move on to the next one?
Yeah, let's move on to the next one. Okay. So, this one goes, "Hi, Adam and Robin. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, it's me again, Zach from Malaysia. Sorry for my English. It's my third language.
It's okay. If it's your third language and you can put that sentence out, I'm very impressed.
Yeah, considering Adam doesn't speak any other language.
I slightly understand swearing in Spanish
Doesn't
because
count.
I was around my grandparents who used to scream at each other a lot.
That's fucked up.
A trip to Grandma and Grandpa's house wasn't complete until Grandpa cried from something horrible my grandmother said that I couldn't understand.
There's a phrase in Vietnamese that my mom used to yell at me all the time, and it pretty much translates to, "You make me want to throw up blood."
Wow. That's the sweetest thing I've ever heard.
And so
Can I work?
Like, it's gross, but she yells it at you all the time when you do something bad, and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Some of the stuff I say in day-to-day life is like way over the top, obviously, because I'm stupid like that. But I'd love to see someone who just barely started speaking English or was like getting it translated to them, where it's like, it roughly translates to, "I'd rather gargle broken glass." Because I say that a lot about things I don't want to do. So, right on. Cool. Good talk.
Nice. It continues. In my country, we speak at least 4 languages, and it's hard to improve it when I speak Cantonese at home and Mandarin with my friend. And I want to say something in Chinese, but it's going to sound so bad because I don't know how to speak Chinese really
What do you
well.
want to say? Like, Englishly translated. I don't even know if that's
like
a phrase.
I understand.
Oh, right on.
It's like super easy, but I don't want to butcher it.
Just toss it out there. Give it a shot. If it's bad, I'll edit it out. Promise.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Wo chi tao?
Cool. That
Yeah.
sounded good. I'm leaving
That's
it
like
in.
understand. The reason I wrote this is when I wanted to recall what scary stories I have, and in the middle of doing my final year project. Oh, congratulations on graduating.
Yeah.
Final year project. Yeah. I recalled an incident happened in my senior year, and it's pretty creepy. Here's my long email. I typed this in the middle of my project. I'm so lazy.
That's so funny. Just looking for anything to distract yourself from finishing. I remember that.
A fact about Malaysian schools and religious buildings is that there's a myth that every school was once a hospital for Japanese soldiers who died in Malaysia or some battleground in World War II. It was said that these places were not meant to build houses.
So he said it's a myth, right?
Yes.
So
It's
I'm
probably
sure
like an urban legend.
I'm sure some of them were, like, for
Yeah.
sure, but I don't know about all of them.
Right.
Right on.
Throughout my high school,
Still terrifying.
Throughout my high school, I have heard many scary stories happening on school grounds after the sun's gone down. My high school has many stories and even mass hysteria incidents happening over a period of months. So here goes my story. One morning, when I was in my classroom, we heard a girl screaming from the next class, and the teachers immediately stopped teaching and ran to see what happened. The girl, who was believed to be possessed, was running around the second floor. Our school has 4 buildings combined together, so it's a cube with a huge hole in the middle, so you could see the sky standing at the corridor. So this girl literally runs around and grabs random people's hair. The event is so terrifying, it was believed that she wanted to jump from the corridor. That's when the teachers pulled her into the consultation room and kept her in that room. Everyone is freaking confused by then. To even transport her into the room, the teachers ordered 5 students to carry her in.
I love these teachers. Like, I'm not touching that kid. Like, hey, other kids, please carry her to this place to quarantine her, basically, from the rest of the kids. It's just like, it's delegating at its best, and it's also really, really shitty teaching / it's not parenting because they're not the parents, but like, it's really being a bad adult. That's what I'm trying to say.
Nice.
And I kind of fucking respect it, because like, if there's a kid running around like they're possessed, I'd be like, I'm not fucking touching that kid. Hey, other kid. I'd pick the kids I didn't like from class.
That's fucked up.
I would. Fuck them. I'm just saying. Teachers put up with a lot of shit, man. And if you have to deal with like an asshole kid, because I was that asshole kid growing up, like, I don't know how my teachers put up with me without snapping, you know?
Yeah. Cool random fact about my high school that I graduated from. Our building, supposedly, when I got there, it was like only a 2-year-old high school. It was brand new. But supposedly it was like the design for it was that it was built off schematics for like an insane asylum, like
Right.
a mental institution. And so our cafeteria had like this room that you could walk out into that was kind of like this donut building. Someone said it looked like a donut, that looked like this donut building. And so it was like this courtyard where you could eat in, and you could just see the sky from where you're eating in, but it's all fenced in by concrete walls.
It's like the common area
Yeah.
for like any sort of holding facility.
Right. And so it's like cafeteria leads out to that, and there's nothing around except you could see like the hall, like little open corridors on all sides, I think, and they were all barred, like jail bar looking bars. It was like the creepiest thing, because my old high school before that one was so open, and it was just all these buildings placed all over campus, kind of like a college campus would be.
Yeah.
So this one was so weird. I just...
See, for me, growing up, I went to a school called Boone Grove, and Boone Grove sounds as hick as it actually is.
Oh
So
my God.
the elementary and the middle school and the high school at the time when I was a kid, when I was younger in like elementary school, is right next to a farm. So there was like a 4-foot fence to keep kids from jumping over and trying to chase sheep around, which happened all the fucking time. And the school was like 100 years old. So there was a lot of stuff about the high school, the upstairs of the school being haunted. And it was also kind of run down, like they'd renovated a lot. And finally they decided like, hey, let's just build a new high school.
Okay.
So they eventually did. So the high school that I went to was maybe 5 or 10 years old by the time I got to high school. But they had all these grand plans for all these things that they were going to do and they were going to build. And then whatever contractor they hired fucked up building it so badly, like we're supposed to have a swimming pool.
Okay.
And they had to cancel that. And they didn't even dig the fucking hole. They just made this massive commons area outside of the gymnasium and the cafeteria where people could just stand around.
That's so weird.
Because they just fucking ran out of money. We're supposed to... This is a school that's 100 years old, right? There's no fucking football team. I mean, there is now, which is awesome. But when I was going to school, like, I really wanted to play football. I'm like 6'1", you know? I'm a big dude. And I really wanted to play football, so I had to face the choice of, like, switch schools to play or stick with this school and cross your fingers and hope you finally get a football team. And guess the other thing that got cut out of the fucking school budget? The football field and all the equipment and the insurance they were going to purchase so we could finally get a football team.
That's fucked.
Yeah, so, like, getting to high school, they're like, oh, all that stuff we said you guys are going to get, you don't have shit. Like, you have this big empty space to stand in, so have fun with that.
Our football team was not very good, I don't think. The town next to us was all rich kids, so they had, like, nice stuff, you know? And
you stole it? Fucking
we
rich
didn't
kids.
steal it, but their mascot was a dragon. That was kind of cool.
That is cool.
But we had an award-winning dancing team.
Nice.
I don't know if they have dance teams out here.
They had them in the Midwest. Our dance team took
Yeah.
5th in state, I think. I went there and I watched them perform.
In Texas, I think dance teams are big too.
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, continuing the email.
Oh, there's still more email.
Yes, this is just the beginning. So
Oh,
through
my
the
Lord.
entire month, we would hear random girls screaming every day. It's become so intense that we would stand out in the corridor to watch the incidents happening in front of our eyes. Then, one morning when we arrived at school, there was salt and pepper all over the floors and stairs, but it still happens. That's so what?
I feel like maybe someone was trying to ward it with salt.
Yeah.
But why pepper? Just, to have it
I
there
don't know.
because they should accompany
Little
each
bit
other.
of flavor.
That's so funny.
So.
Well, that's why it didn't work, goddammit. You threw pepper in. You never throw pepper in there. Tigers love pepper. You were attracting tigers to your school. It's from The Hangover.
Oh.
I think. I can't remember the quote. It's been a long time since I've watched that movie.
Okay. So this continued for a week until one day that thing happened again. The whole perfect team freaking grabbed that girl to the ground, and the religious teachers would chant from the Quran to stop her screaming.
Oh my God.
What? A what?
It's like just a makeshift exorcism being performed in high school.
It's like that wedding. No,
Oh my God.
Side note, the girls who were possessed were Muslims. Maybe the ghost is religion specific. No offense.
I always wonder because there are certain things that are supposed to be religion specific. Like golems or golems or however you say it are supposed to be the Jewish folklore. Yeah.
Fact, the Malays in Malaysia are all Muslims. That I did not know.
I knew it was
really
a very
good to
diverse culture, but I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, it's like how in Japan they have like Christianity and Shinto and all this.
And Buddhism.
And Buddhism and stuff.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. So that was that. There were no hauntings after that. That's kind of good.
I
that
guess.
They kind of figured it out. The origin for this happening was believed to have originated from a bunch of students who played with the Chinese Ouija board and that they did not end it correctly. There's a specific Ouija board. There's a Chinese Ouija board.
The Chinese invented the Ouija board in like
What?
900 AD. It's so funny she doesn't remember this because I've said it twice on episodes where I've covered Ouija boards.
Sorry.
That's where the Ouija board came from. It was invented as a way, like everyone's like, oh, it's just a toy. It's like, yeah, we marketed it as a toy because people are stupid. In China, when they created the Ouija board, it was literally for necromancy and to contact the dead. And then someone saw the design and they're like, I'm going to sell that to kids. You're an asshole guy from the 1890s. Forgot your name. Doesn't matter.
It wasn't the Hasbro dude?
I don't know. I think they might own the license to it at this point. But you know what's more evil than the Ouija board?
What?
Fucking Monopoly. That shit will just end relationships.
You're so dumb. I think we've gotten past the age where that ends relationships.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just like I'm very a stickler for the rules. My group of friends, like we would go out a lot, and then finally we said like, hey, let's all stay home and drink and like save some money. So drunk Monopoly nights became a big thing. And when you're playing with a bunch of alphas who all want to really fucking win, you have to play by the rules or there's gonna be some fucking fist fights and boards flipped. So we decided like, hey, we're gonna play by the book. So now as an adult, when I play by the book and other people are like, no, like we're just going to do a bunch of random bullshit. I'm like, no, this is not how this game is meant to be played. People will die this way.
You. Anyway, so it continues. So here are some minor happenings in my Chinese class. Our teacher told us that she has seen a woman outside of the classroom staring at her throughout the class, and she followed her to the canteen. When she turned back, she was gone. Don't know what that was for. That's so weird.
This is a creepy high school to be going to.
Yeah, I can't imagine going there for all the years until you graduate. I'd be like, booking it. I'm good, thanks.
I'm like, homeschool for me, thanks.
Yeah, if my parents, they wouldn't have been able to homeschool me. Or I would have learned, like, weird
everything incorrectly.
Another incident is when there's an event hosted by the Chinese club, which is the Mooncake Festival. Fucking mooncakes are bomb. They're so delicious. I can't believe I've never had one. But they are so good.
Are they like moon pies?
Send mooncakes for Chinese New Year and stuff.
I've never had a moon pie either.
Moon pie?
I just heard of moon pie.
Oh, okay. No, it's not. It's totally different.
Ooh, you know what we should ask our audience? Cake or pie? That's a good one to split people right down the middle.
Why would you... What?
We did team fan and team no fan, and that turned out really well in my favor.
Okay, pie or...
Just do hashtag team cake, hashtag team pie, and then the reasoning behind it. I'm curious.
I love pie.
I love cake. This happens every fucking time, I swear.
I know you hate pie. It's the weirdest thing.
I don't hate
pie.
pie.
Yeah, team pie.
I don't hate pie. I have very specific pies I like. And the pie that I like the most and the cake that I like the most, I like the cake better, so I go team cake. So don't turn me into an anti-pie guy. I'm not that.
We
you
tried
just make
to
weird pies.
Apple pie is a weird pie.
It's disgusting. I don't know where people got this fucking idea that apple pie would be a good pie to make.
All I know is the cake is a lie.
I hate you so much. All right, let's get back to this email. This email's taking us way too long.
Okay. All right. So the students were playing Truth or Dare when one student dared a guy to go up to the 5th floor and come back down. I know for a fact that my school at night is super creepy. Darkness covered the whole place, and you can see the inside of the pitch black classroom from the outside through the broken windows. So this guy with huge balls decided to take the dare and went up to the 5th floor.
I was like, how does he know that about him? And then I realized it was just a thing he was saying.
Oh my gosh.
Quick shout out to Nathan C, who just subscribed to us during the show. Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
Fucking okay. I got left off on huge balls. When he finally goes up to the 5th floor, behind him was his friend. Well, at least it looked like his friend following him when he walked through the long corridor of the 5th floor to the other side of the building with another set of stairs. So I'm assuming stairs, floor, stairs.
That sounds right. That's how I pictured it in my head too.
So,
but I'm picturing my old high school. I feel like that's kind of what you do when you're listening to that story, you know?
Yeah.
You
I'm
just
imagining
adjust
like
the
a
floor
Japanese
plan.
high school. Or
I've never been to one of those.
We've watched enough TV, man.
You watch it. I hear it in the background. Everyone's just yelling at each other, and I don't know what's going
That's
on.
Korean.
And Chinese. So many dramas.
Yeah, sorry. The friend who's following him did not talk or answer his questions. So that guy thought it was normal, and just when he reached the other side of the building, his friend was gone. Just when he arrived back to the group, his friend was there. The guy asked about his silence and emotionless face, but the group told him that he was kidding around. His friends were there the entire time. That's fucked.
Yeah, that's weird. That reminds me of a Mondo story.
Yeah,
where that one guy disappeared and he
Right.
was like, I don't know where you fucking guys went, like, and then he had like handprints all over him the next day. That's super creepy.
Dude, that one was weird. We need another special guest sometime soon.
We do.
Yeah.
We have one, but he doesn't. Actually, he does live here now. I forgot about that.
Who?
Ralph. We have to have Ralph on. He has
Oh,
so many good
yeah.
stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to have Ralph as a special guest. You guys would fucking love Ralph. Ralph is awesome. So maybe we'll bring him on for special guests. He told me some shit. Ooh, man, we're standing in line waiting for E3. And we're waiting for the Xbox Fan Fest event. And we're standing there, and like, you know when you're in a line and it's a bunch of people who want to talk, and then you're trying to have your conversation? Like, Ralph's stories are so good, I realized at some point that no one else was talking because everyone else was eavesdropping on us. So yeah, we got to do that soon.
That's really cool. Okay, so the last thing I want to share about is the disciplinary teacher. So one night when she was buying burgers from the burger stand next to the school, how the fuck do you get a burger stand next to your
It's
school?
pretty fucking
That's
sweet, I'm
fucking
not gonna
awesome.
lie.
Yeah, I don't think
How do we not have that in the USA? That's what I'm asking.
We didn't have fancy stuff in our high school that I graduated from either, because there were so many other high schools that were like, yeah, we have a Burger King in
Right
our
across the
food
street.
court or
Oh,
a Taco
yeah.
Bell in our food court. I'm like,
Yeah,
fuck
growing
you.
up, other schools would be like, oh yeah, like we can leave the campus for lunch and we can go get whatever we want for lunch, which makes sense to me as an adult. But when I was in high school, I'm like, where the fuck are you going to go? Because my school was in the middle of fucking nowhere next to a goddamn farm. Like, it was
Yeah.
a 30-minute drive to the next fast food place. Man, that sucked. Just getting angry thinking about it. No football, no Burger King. What kind of life did I lead?
I don't even know. So, she saw lights turning on and off. What's scary is that each classroom has lights on and off at a different pace. From what I heard from my friends, there was an old woman with a black outfit that walks around the school all day. We kind of just think of it as normal and continue studying in that school until graduation.
There goes the demon witch. No big deal. Let's keep studying for calc, guys.
What the fuck? Dude.
Jesus Christ.
Zach, like, how do you live? I can't even. I gotta say, there are dead people everywhere. People died in many places, and some choose to stay. This is true. I totally believe that. I've been listening to your podcast for so long, and it's especially entertaining when I listen along with boring workload. I do that too.
I do too.
I'm an animation student, and I'm drawing my final year animation project. Draw us something!
That is awesome.
Yes, Zach, draw something. Please, animate us. Do something.
Animate the logo. I was thinking about, like, paying someone to do that, so... not really. You do not have to do that if you're in the middle of trying to graduate.
Yeah,
That's got to be a
but
nightmare.
if you've already graduated, then
You don't have to do it.
Love us.
Love
Okay.
us. Give us free stuff. You don't have to do it.
Keep up with the podcast. I don't mind if you read my mail after a few months because I know there are so many emails to read.
Thank you.
Thank you. Stay scarish and stay blessed. With love, Zach.
Oh,
Thank
you,
you
Zach.
so much.
It was long, and it was
That
also
was very long.
very,
It was very
fucking good. Yeah.
I cannot believe you had to go to school with
That's
all that
fucked
weird
up,
shit.
yeah.
Like, no, I'm good.
Super, super creepy. All right, let's take a break and look at Stream Chat.
All right.
I nailed it. I saw one thing go. Actually, I saw a few things go by that got me over here.
Yeah.
So the first thing is I saw Ms. Deezy say, "I love Ralph. I cover his store, and he recommended your podcast."
Yay!
Ralph, you're fucking awesome that
yeah,
he did that.
that's so cool.
And Miss Deezy, you're awesome for covering his store. Ralph is just like I had a store. We're talking about GameStop, by the way. I had a store down in Arizona, and when I first went down there, Ralph was making like a 3-hour drive to help me cover that store before I got staff hired. And he was like, you imagine you could be upset about that, but Ralph was always the nicest, happiest person. He's always that way every time I see him. He's a wonderful human being. We have to have him on. And he also got me into Xbox Fan Fests. Like,
yeah.
he got one. He won a raffle to get in, and then he gave me the additional one that he got for free when people were offering him like hundreds of dollars to go.
Yeah. When I got to go the year before that, I got to hang out with Ralph the whole time, and it was awesome.
He makes an event.
Yeah,
we have
makes
to have him on the
fun.
show. He's so cool.
Cheesecake, yes. Cheesecake is the best cake.
I will agree with you. Cheesecake is amazing. I saw this one come across from Copyrighted Snake, and I almost spit my coffee out. There's this saying in English called, quote, "I'll kill your entire family," which roughly translates to, "Bro, what the fuck?"
What the
good
fuck?
stuff.
Okay.
I saw a flock of nuns outside the other day crossing the streets. Says Girl Panic 95. I think it's called a murder of nuns when there's a group of them.
Oh my god.
No, that's crows.
777 said cobbler is like aborted pie. What the fuck?
These are so good. During the story, Copyrighted Snake again said, "Yeah, people can't live here, but children can definitely get beaten up here. It's weird the decisions adults make. It really is."
Someone had Chick-fil-A in their high school.
What
Mementi.
The fuck? That's awesome.
What? We had to. So my cousins and I, what we did is we picked up Chick-fil-A on the way to high school. So
it's clever.
Yeah.
Momenti says the power of physics compels you. Drop textbook on head. Textbook applied directly to possessed forehead. That's so fucking funny. Here is when we gave the shout out. 777 Team Pie, Miss Deezy Pie, B Nelson Team Cake because cake is delicious. Fuck yeah.
The cake is alive.
777 cake is just too pretty to eat. Sometimes cakes are really pretty. That's true. Sometimes the best looking cakes taste like shit.
The rainbow ones, the ones where they do like different colored tiers. I want one of those, but they're too pretty, and I like feel so bad eating it.
The Scriptory HQ says pie. Glitch Grim says
yes,
Team Cake pie. There's nothing wrong with that. Carly says pie. 777 says also I can make pie. I can't eat cake. Bobby says Team Pie because I love apple. Girl Panic says Team Pie. God damn it, I feel like I'm losing this one. Ulrich says cake. I love the cake. I like more cake flavors. I think there is more variety in cakes too, but that might just be me because I haven't seen.
It's me. Mary says neither because I'm vegan.
Right on.
Legit.
Mojo Pokey Blue says Team Cake, specifically carrot cake.
Right I can accept carrot cake. Carrot cake is good.
Akasuna no Karia? I can't read that from that
Kyrie?
far. Yeah, thank you. Team Cake, I love Tres Leches cake. Good fucking call.
I've never had it.
It's so good. We go to this Mexican market and we always don't pick it up too. We got to just grab one time.
Let's see.
I hate plain white yellow cake.
Yes. Boring.
This is so funny. I love vanilla ice cream. I hate chocolate ice cream. I hate vanilla cake and I love chocolate cake with chocolate icing because I'm a fucking weirdo.
Wait, so you hate chocolate ice cream?
Yeah, I hate chocolate ice cream. I don't know why. I just can't stand it.
Is it too rich?
It is too rich. That's exactly what it is.
I could never be too rich.
I hate you so much. I hope we get to test that at some point in life. I still can't believe someone had Chick-fil-A in their fucking high school. That's like having like an automated blowjob machine in your high school. Like, what could be better than that? I just don't know.
Oh, Miss Deezy's his PlayStation rep.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's super cool. You could be my PlayStation rep. Bring all the demos.
Cobbler is like aborted pie. That's so fucking funny. Blackberry cobbler. Sounds good.
Nuns love my pagan ass.
Oh my god.
I can't.
You guys are bizarre. It's so funny. Team Cake, but I don't like fondant, says Keb. Yeah, I totally agree. Like, every time I see a fondant cake, they're super pretty. And in the back of my head, I'm like, I don't want to eat that. It's going to taste like shit.
Momenti. It's like, I know I'm fancy. Hair flip.
Hair flip.
You guys are so funny. Copyrighted Snake says, I see diabetes. Hashtag Team Diabetes. Diabetes.
Tanya Payne says, Team Cake, I always eat the icing separate from the cake, though. That's smart, because sometimes when they over-ice it or the icing's, like, way too rich.
I'll scrape off what I know I won't like.
Yeah, I portion my shit out, because I'm like, I don't want all that stuff on there. Copyright Snake says, I think a nice environment will be better than a Chick-fil-A. True, I just think of the food. So, Momentai says, well, if you want to be really jealous, we also had a Pizza Hut and a Subway. I don't know if that makes me more jealous than Chick-fil-A. I used to work at a Subway, so I associate that with high school already, and that wasn't great. Miss Deasy, so I have to ask why you hate Ghost Adventures so much. It just seems like bullshit. Like, the way they produce the show makes everything seem fake to me.
I will watch it because I really love, like, seeing these creepy places and hearing the backstories and stuff. I cannot stand how it's produced.
Yeah. The way they shoot it just makes it like let's say something creepy happened and you wanted to investigate yourself. And you wanted to take, like, a friend with, you know? Like, let's just see what happened. Like, you go Scooby-Dooing, as I call it.
Yeah.
If you took a friend, and I was like, here's the 2 friends I'm going to give you to take. There's a rational person who will also believe if something happens to be supernatural. And then there's this person where no matter what you find is going to act like something supernatural happened and be super fucking dramatic about it. And, like, those are the people I can't stand. And I feel like that's what Ghost Adventures is. Like, they could walk into any room and they're like, it's haunted. I'm possessed. I'm blind. And, like, they'll make a fucking episode about it. And that's why I don't like it. I just feel like the production value is always something happened here. Because if it's not, people won't watch. Dat Spooky Boy has followed. So thank you to Dat Spooky Boy. Appreciate you following us.
Oh, thank you so much. But yeah, it's just, I enjoy shows like that. And I will watch it because I enjoy shows like that. But sometimes I can't stand Zach.
Yeah.
It's just, he's the worst part of it.
Yeah.
And I get that it's his show. What are you going to do?
B. Nelson says, I go to a Catholic private college. In parentheses, I've told you about freaky ass trapdoor I found working for Res Life on Discord. And every time I see the nuns, they're like, you're such a sweet girl. I bet you go to church every Sunday. And I just sweat nervously because I am neither a girl nor go to church. I was like, B. Nelson, I don't think I must be confused. I didn't think you were a girl. Wow, that's so fucking bizarre. Right on. So I think that was fun. Fun Twitch chat.
Yeah.
Damn it. I was about to say Snapchat stream chat break. So awesome. It's my turn now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you just read.
Yeah, I read that really long one. So.
Right on.
Go.
So this next one goes like this. Hey guys.
How's it go?
Hello.
Oh, hello.
It goes, hey guys. Hello. See, now we've done it twice. Now it's just a fucking disaster.
Hi.
Geez, where do I start? How do I write one of these things? I just started listening. First time writer, short time listener here. I listened to podcast 0, so our pilot episode, and it hits close to home. I had been a victim, of sleep paralysis for many years, stemming back to the mid-2000s.
Okay.
I had my first experience when I was in the military. We had 24 duty, I think that's like 24-hour duty, for EMS on the base I was at, in parentheses, an ambulance. So getting a picture of what they're doing. Okay. And had to sleep in these creepy old bunk rooms. They had 2 sets of bunk beds on either side of the room and 2 crews that shared them. We would have to spend all night there on these shitty mattresses and hope that we didn't get an ambulance call in the middle of the night. Anyway, on to the good stuff. One night I was sleeping on my side, in parentheses, becomes relevant later. It's good to know. I'm a side sleeper too. So, and awoke to, you're a mix?
Yeah. I'll sleep on my side, but then I'll wake up on my back.
I have, by the way, Tanya, not Tonya. Right on. My bad, dog. But I have a picture that I took. I haven't shown it to her yet, but there's one side of Robin that's flat when she sleeps under a blanket where it's like normal, and then there's another side where there's fucking elbow, and then there's a knee too. And guess who's sleeping on that side, who has that lodged into them every time they wake up? This fucking guy. So yeah, I sleep both ways. Whatever. She sleeps like a fucking stalactite. That's what she sleeps like.
You're a stalactite. Wait, why not a stalagmite?
I don't know. I'm prejudiced apparently against stalagmites. My bad.
Do you know the difference?
Yeah. M, stalagmite, means it's on the ground. T, stalactite, hangs from the top.
A little bit of science for you guys.
Yeah, for any of you guys in elementary school who need to know that.
Hey, I didn't even memorize that till I was already in college.
What I'm saying is you need to. You don't need that. I don't think any of your statics tests are going to have anything about stalactites or mites.
I already had geography. Fuck me.
It's just so much. All right, getting back to it. So they sleep on their side and awoke to suddenly not being able to move.
Okay.
I was borderline third person / OBE. That means out of body experience.
Okay.
I've done out of body experience one time, and I'll talk about it after this.
Okay.
Remind me to talk about it after this.
Okay.
In that, I could see everything in the room, but simultaneously not be able to move and have that sensation of being in a paralyzed body as well. That's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, no.
I could see a dark figure in the doorway watching me sleep. I tried to wake myself up, but couldn't, and was helpless until I either was able to force myself back to sleep or eventually wake up. So it's like there's something dark in the doorway watching you, and your options are like wake up, which you can't, or go back to sleep with it watching you. This happened a couple more times, and I had never told anyone for a while. Eventually, I was talking to my buddy, who also pulled the same duty, and I let it slip about the paralysis episode, and he said the same thing fucking happened to me in the same fucking bunk.
Wow.
I had shat-laden pants, to say the least. We talked about it on and off, but the episode seemed to have stopped for a while.
Okay.
Fast forward until I'm out of the military and living in my mom's house, I started having sleep paralysis episodes again. The same sensation, the same laying on my side, back to the door, and I can feel this dark figure in my doorway staring at me. I told my little brother who was sleeping in the same room about it, and he ends up saying he has a similar experience as well.
That's so weird.
What the fuck, right? Except he says he was laying in bed, woke up, couldn't move, and all of a sudden the room started spinning out of control. He snapped out of it to his head hitting the headboard.
What?
He claims, and this happened to him multiple times. That's fucking crazy. Let's hope he wasn't drunk, because bed spins can do that to you too.
Well, I don't know.
What's really funny, and this is a complete side note, is when people used to get bed spins, they used to tell me, like, it's the worst fucking thing. And I'd never had it happen. For those of you who don't know what it is, you get really drunk.
Can't you just put your foot down and you're fine?
Yeah, well, you get really drunk, and it feels like the room is spinning when you finally lay down. People say, like, oh, just put your foot on the ground, and it'll, like, reorient you. It finally happened to me, and I was like, this is fun. Like, wee.
Did you throw up?
No, I loved it. I loved every second of it.
I will throw up if I.
But I like roller coasters and spinny rides like that. So, okay, getting back to the email. This gets even creepier. Yay.
Okay.
After we start talking about it more, the experiences subsided, and I forgot it even happened. Fast forward again. I'm living in an apartment now with my girlfriend at the time. I woke up one night paralyzed, on my back this time, to the same dark figure. I can see him / it this time. It's not just a periphery sensory thing. I'm staring at this thing, this dark silhouette with broad shoulders, a thin, wide-brimmed hat. These things always wear fucking hats. And no face.
Maybe it's because they got bald spots.
Maybe it's because they have no face and they're trying to hide it. All of a sudden, I
cover
feel...
up their blowholes.
So they're just fucking whales or dolphins now?
We're dolphins.
I hate you so much. All of a sudden, I feel this pressure on my legs, and it starts to move up my body. The pressure then is on my stomach, then on my chest, and it's so intense I can't even breathe, let alone make a sound. I feel this unseen creature on top of me, and I have no idea what to do. The only thing I can think of doing is invoking the name of God and the Trinity.
Wow.
I muster up enough breath inside of me to start, leave this place, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. It was so quiet at first, but when I finished, I literally yelled Holy Ghost so loud, it woke my girlfriend up, and I was able to sit up. I've done that. I've woken up from, not the prayer thing, but I've woken up screaming from something super intense happening in a dream. She was like, what the fuck? Why did you just yell out Holy Ghost in your sleep? And I was like, never mind. I'm going back to bed. I like that you don't even try and explain you waking up and screaming Holy Ghost. And your significant other is like, what was that about? You're like, yeah, don't worry about it. You just go to sleep after that.
Okay.
The only person I've ever told that story to is my brother. I swear it happened. It was the freakiest shit ever. And ever since I yelled at this entity with the name of the Trinity, it's never visited me again.
That's
and I've never had another episode of sleep paralysis.
That's really good.
The end.
Yeah.
I hope writing this didn't trigger it to happen again.
No,
Because something
I'm sure
I've noticed in a lot of these emails, people say like, and then I forgot this ever happened. But then you remember it when you have another episode. Because it's like, oh, it's all coming back to me now. And it's even more terrifying that way.
I'm sure it's fine.
You're sure it's fine. Well, let's hope so. Fingers crossed. So that was really good. Thank you for sending that in.
Thank you so much.
So quick break for stream chat.
For stream chat things, because a lot of stuff happened, I think. Team Cupcake for the win. I like cupcakes.
Cupcakes are really good.
Cupcakes are good. But at work, someone brought in like these cupcakes that were like, they looked like poop emojis. And it was just like this much cupcake and this much like frosting. And I can't. If there's that much frosting on it, it's not a cupcake
You have
anymore.
to proportion it right. It's like having a sandwich with like 90% bread and like a tiny bit of something else. That's just not properly portioned. Robin, if you would you trade perfect eyesight for Adam having poor to very poor eyesight?
No.
You wouldn't give me your bad eyesight?
No.
I appreciate that.
Because I can live with my bad eyesight. I can't live with you having poor eyesight.
Yeah, it's actually freaking me out that I'm having trouble reading the names over on this monitor over here because it's not that far away.
It's time for you to get glasses, son.
I really don't want glasses. I've had good eyesight my whole life.
Glasses are cute. They'll make you look good. I mean, look at me.
Have you guys tried the...
Well, me without my glasses does not look good. Okay.
Yes, it does. She's lying.
You're lying.
Have you guys tried the show that comes on after Ghost Adventures with the Tennessee Ghost Chasers? I think it's called Haunted Towns.
We don't really watch cable TV.
No, I've never even heard of it, to be honest with you.
The only thing we really watch on cable TV is Dragon Ball Super. Does that count?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Or when
I watch it more on Crunchyroll too for the subs, but every now and then I'm like, I don't want to read.
I watch The Good Doctor on cable television, but that's
Game
about
of Thrones.
Yeah, but we don't really watch a lot because we have like Netflix and Hulu and stuff. So I've never heard of it.
This is copyrighted Snake's pun. Stalag might break a TV.
Wow.
It sounds like one that you'd do. Yeah.
Fuck you.
Oh, what else?
Bobby, sorry you feel sick. Hopefully you feel better.
Oh, that sucks.
Boop, boop, boop. The country of stalactites.
Mojo Pokey Blue says, if you go to a haunted house, do you take a gun or a Bible? I probably wouldn't take either. I just don't carry Bibles.
Holy water?
Yeah, maybe holy water or salt.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't take a gun because I've gone to a haunted house before, and it wasn't just not haunted. It was inhabited by living people. And that guy came out and pointed a fucking shotgun at us and told us to get off his property. And I was like, how do you handle having a shotgun pointed at you? It's like, try and talk to him. And I was like, hey, let me ask you this question really fast. And I could just see it all over his face like he just wanted to fucking kill me. I was like, this house isn't haunted, is it? He's like, no. And I don't know why you fucking kids keep coming here. And I told him, I was like, it's because in all the high schools I know of, there's a giant rumor saying that this house is haunted. And it's like he wanted to cry. He's like, my family lives here. I deal with this every weekend.
Oh, no.
And I was just like, I will literally tell my friends, like, this is the biggest load of shit I've ever seen. And then we left. And then we got in the car and we were driving away. And I was like, I need to look up what this legend is supposedly about, because if it was about a guy in blue jeans with a blue jean jacket and a shotgun, I just saw a fucking ghost. And it wasn't. It was a real dude. Weedman Smoker _429 has followed us. Nice. So thank you so much for following us. Gun in a Bible. This is 777. Yeah. That's good. Loaded with rock salt.
Okay, where did Zach Bagels come from? I don't remember. Do you remember?
Someone just started calling him Zach Bagels, I think, in the Discord.
Oh, okay, because that's all I see, and it's starting to make me think that's not his Zach Baggins isn't his name, because I keep seeing Zach Bagels. Okay.
Keb says, I used to be terrified of sleep paralysis, but then I learned about lucid dreaming. When I get sleep paralysis, I chillax and accept it. Then if I wait long enough, I can start to control my dreams. I've had that happen to me before, actually. I always forget that I'm dreaming. Like, lucid dreaming is just knowing you're awake while you're actually dreaming and being able to control a lot of stuff. But while I'm doing it, I usually forget, and I just wind up falling back into the dream, like not knowing. But I've had it happen to me before where I'm like, oh shit, like I'm sleep paralyzed, and I close my eyes to try and just go back to sleep.
Yeah.
And then I'm back in the dream, but I'm like vaguely aware that I'm awake. Have you all seen 1922? We did watch that.
That's the Netflix show, right?
Yeah, that has
that creepy
Thomas Jane in it.
And
he's so fucking good. I love Thomas Jane.
That series is so weird and creepy, and just the end. Not gonna give spoilers. Fucking trip balls.
It's good. B. Nelson says snack beagles. Ulrich says Twitch goal looks at showing 100 out of 100. Nice. I'm pretty sure it's actually 96 out of 100, and the ticker is broken. But hey.
It's good.
It's awesome, because we'll probably hit it like when we're not on air. So we're going to go with it. Weedman Smoker 429, you're our 100th follower, so thank you so much.
Ori also says he's such a diva dick. Yes, Zach Bagels is a diva dick. I can't fucking stand him.
It's Me Marie says, anytime I try to lucid dream, I always end up getting sleep paralysis. I feel like those two things are very closely tied together. I made a pun on stalactites and no one saw it. No, we didn't see it. Sorry. Carly made no. Copyrighted
Snake made a pun on stalactites.
I said stalactites. Okay, that's why.
Oh.
Have you all seen Hereditary? We have
No,
not.
I really
wanna
want to see
it.
Hereditary.
We had a night earlier where you were like, earlier this week.
I wanted to watch horror movies, and we watched The Boy, which was pretty good.
I had listened to the episode of The Flophouse, which is a movie podcast where they make fun of movies that flop either critically or financially or both. And The Boy was on there, I think, for flopping financially. I'm not too sure. And they actually all said that they liked it. And so I knew the twist at the end.
Okay.
So I was trying to not tell her what the twist was, but it's actually not a bad movie. It was kind of enjoyable. The Boy more like the man. Spoilers. Am I right? It's fucking funny.
I like stalag titties are like Madonna boobs.
Chloe says, "Are you guys watching Castle Rock right now?" We are like 3 episodes behind.
Yeah, we have 3 episodes.
And I keep telling her we need to catch up.
More, yeah.
I really want to watch that show.
I've been watching a lot of Chinese and Korean drama lately. So, and we started rewatching Cells at Work. The
anime. So fucking funny.
There's just so much to watch, and we're like getting behind on certain things, and
there's only so much time to watch stuff.
Yeah,
too.
now that school started again, it's like
and I have a lot of time during the day, and I'm like, I can't watch this without her. I can't watch this without her. So I have to pick stuff in particular that I can watch, and it's usually stuff that I've already seen.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a fucking bummer.
But yeah, okay. So my turn.
Yes.
Me turn. All right. So this one's short but sweet. It's from Ronald. That second story I said I was going to read.
Right on.
So it goes, I had my dog Luna for almost 3 years now. We had her before she was even 2 months old. She's slept with me since then, so she's basically my roommate.
Oh, that's adorable.
I can't live without our dogs, dude. I love them so much, especially our little corgi German Shepherd one, because she sleeps in bed with us all the time, and she's the biggest, like, floppy dog.
She's so adorable.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to pick a favorite pet because I love Nymeria, our Shiba Inu, so much now. Because like the desk.
Now you didn't love her before.
Well, like she was a brat when she was a puppy, but now that she's getting older, she's so good. And like the desk that we record at, like we have a dog bed underneath it because she always comes in here and lays at my feet while I'm doing stuff during the day. And being unemployed and being totally alone in a fucking office while you're looking for work, it's like when the dog comes and lays on your feet, you feel slightly less like a loser. So it's like she's my cuddle buddy during the day.
When she does that, though, you have to think like, now I need a job to support this cute doggo.
Now I will. Thank you for that. Awesome. I hate you so much.
Okay. I was having a nightmare where I could see everything in a house. I could see from a top view like the roof was basically missing. It turned into a nightmare where things started to pop out of nowhere, almost like a haunted house. I was walking in the hallway of a random house. I could see something behind the door where I was approaching. Right before basically the jump scare, my dog jumped on my chest with her front paws. She basically woke me up at the perfect time. That's really sweet.
That's like an emotional support dog who notices like something's wrong and they do something to intercede. Like our
dogs are not emotional support
That's totally
dogs.
not true, man. Like
okay,
Nymeria, the corgi, and the Nymeria is our Shiba Inu, and she'll come over to me and like put her paws up on me. Yui will run. Like as soon as she sees something's wrong, she'll hide under the bed or she'll go downstairs.
Well, she's like, no, I don't think that's true. Yui is just like, if she's sleeping, she will not wake up to save you.
That's true. She doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, unless it's like someone in the house, then she'll be like, I'll fucking kill you.
We heard a noise the other night, and I was almost asleep, and she was still awake watching TV, and I woke up, and I was like, did you hear something? And she described exactly what I heard, so I was like, shit. So I got out of bed to go downstairs to look, and what did you ask me? Do I want to take the dog?
Yeah, I was like, do you want the dog?
And I was like, no. And the reason I didn't is because I was pretty sure it was nothing because Yui, our corgi / German Shepherd, was still asleep. Because if she hears something that's not right, she'll lose her shit.
Yeah.
So usually she's like my litmus test. Like if she's not like scared,
yeah. For those that don't know what a litmus test is, it tests pH in the water.
Yeah, but it's also an expression that you use as like a general test to see if something's like off. So, but basically, if she's not as scared of something, if she's not like aware of something else, like I'm not going to be too worried. I'm just going to go check and see if something fell down or the cat knocked something over. So she's definitely not an emotional support cat.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about that shit.
Supports herself cat.
Yeah, she's a hey,
she
you're my fucking furniture. You need to pee. If you move, I'll scream.
That's
what our cat's like.
What the fuck?
She'll meow.
Okay. So this email continues. Since then, I'm a little more calm, going to sleep thinking my doggo will save me. I was so happy and intrigued the next morning that I actually searched online if dogs can sense if we're having nightmares. I saw a few more stories like mine, so it was a nice feeling. You guys are great. Keep up the awesome work. Ronald.
Aw, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Dogs can definitely sense when you're stressed or having a rough time.
Yeah.
That's why they use them as emotional support animals. I saw a video someone posted online of a woman who was having an anxiety attack waiting for a plane because she was afraid to fly. And she was allowed to bring her dog on. And, like, she was sitting in the chair waiting to board, and she had her head in her hands, and she was starting to freak out. And the dog, like got up because it was laying down on the ground, got up and, like, went underneath her hands and, like, shoved its face between her and just started, like, rubbing its face against her face. And, like, she forgot about it because the dog is, like, aware enough to know when its owner needs help. And, like, that's why they're trained like that. And it's literally
really
just
cool.
a dog being absolutely adorable and trying to distract you from the fact that you're anxious.
Yeah.
I fucking love dogs, dude. I love the
I love
dog memes that are
animals,
like,
period.
humans don't deserve dogs because they're so good. Or the thing that's like, you should be the person your dog thinks you are.
I think my favorite meme that I've seen recently is the one where apparently the dogs are made
From
angel. Heaven.
Yes, I love this meme.
And then the devil's just like, here's cats.
It's an angel, like, I've created a being of unconditional love and support. Like, they'll be with man forever. And then it shows a picture of a dog. And then it shows the devil standing there not saying anything. And then he just holds up a black cat. And the cat has this derpy look on its face. I'm just like, yep, that speaks true to me. Right on.
Yeah, so let's take a break for some Switch
chat.
Stream chat. Blurp, blurp, blurp. Okay.
Copyrighted Snake right before we started reading that story said, you should watch Blue Exorcist. It's good.
I have already watched it. Yeah, it's really good.
Cab says Boku no Hero.
I really do want to watch that one. I've watched like the first 2 episodes. I'm making a lot of fan art for My Hero Academia because it's what's popular right now.
Yeah, that's true.
But I've honestly like never seen enough of it. Shokugeki, I do watch that one because it's like an amazing cooking show. If you haven't watched it, you guys should go watch it. I love cooking shows, and just having one about anime and like it in anime form and just like about food and amazing. And it makes me want to go back to Japan and eat fucking everything.
Yeah, dude. We walked everywhere in that country and we ate every time we wanted to, and I lost 11 pounds.
Yeah,
being in we ate
was awesome.
every time we wanted. Every time we were hungry, we stopped and ate. But just walking all over the place, and the portions being different than they are in America, where they're like properly portioned and not way over proportioned.
Yeah,
I still lost weight while we were there, which doesn't happen on vacation.
Miss Deezy subscribed with
yes,
Twitch
you
Prime.
did. Thank you so much, Miss Deezy. And it was just as easy for Miss Deezy. Oh my God, I didn't mean to do that.
Wow.
I promise. But it's like if you're a Twitch Prime member, you have one for free
Twitch
anyways.
Prime, it's free.
And if you don't do it, Amazon keeps your money. And it's like they're basically giving you $5 a month to spend. It's an allowance, but you can only use it on a channel. So if you have a Twitch Prime, connect it to your Twitch account, and then give us that free money from Amazon. So we'd appreciate it.
Carly says my 80-pound dog likes to sleep in our bed, and it gets real old.
Glitch Grim says stupid work making me miss stuff. Work is the worst. I miss it so much.
Robin, you rocking those glasses? Yiki.
Litmus test, more like litness test with lit in all caps. You are rocking those glasses. Good for
thanks.
You. Mark Twain, cats are proof that not everything in nature has a purpose.
That's so mean.
Dude, if you ever have a chance to get one, get a
Oh
book
my
with all
God.
the Mark Twain quotes because they're so fucking good.
Are
Some are
they
like
really?
some are deep and some are just really, really funny. Not everything in nature has a purpose. Adam LOL. I hope I said something clever. Hey, we don't hate here. We are all outcasts. That's true. You know what I feel like the environment is that we foster for this podcast?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the movie Stripes? I tried to rewatch it recently. It's with Bill Murray and Harold Ramis, and they join the army. It's an old movie. And Harold Ramis is still skinny and young. He has a fucking afro. It's awesome. But at one point, they're like still in basic training, and they lose their commander. And the next day is graduation, and they don't fucking rehearse till like the middle of the night. They're like, oh, we actually have to do this thing, or else we're not going to graduate, and you have to do basic training all over again. And so Bill Murray is like the jag-off, the comedian of like the group of his like platoon or whatever, his squad, and he winds up having to get them all together. And they all like kind of like each other, but they all start fighting when they're training. And he screams at all of them, and he gives this like short speech during it, but he tells them that we're American. Do you know what that means? It means that our forefathers were kicked out of every decent country in the world. And then he refers to themselves as the wretched refuse. And like, I feel like all the groups I've ever been a part of that I truly felt like I like belong to,
Yeah.
we're kind of like that. Like, we kind of don't fit in anywhere.
All
And we're
right.
kind of too weird to fit in some places. Like, that's kind of what I feel like the spooky friends kind of are.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we're just kind of funny weirdos that people don't appreciate
But
enough.
see, that's what I love about it. It's like we're all so different. And the fact that everyone is so ridiculously supportive and so ridiculously nice to each other. And the day someone is hella rude, I'm just going to be like, fucking Instaban. You cannot.
Yeah, we don't support that shit.
Like,
It's one thing to make fun of Zach Bagels for having a show that I can't stand, but it's another thing to like just be vicious and mean to someone else.
Demeaning your
especially
fellow
within the
human
community.
beings like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
you just no.
I don't like it.
And
These are the intermission sounds that I hear when she like loses her place during scripts. Like when we're reading through stuff, it's always like ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. She starts scatting. I could literally take a lot of the clips of audio I've removed from episodes and put them together, and it would just be an album I could release for Robin.
shut up.
We just need cover art.
I appreciate you, but only when you laugh at my jokes. Fucking what? We can't be dememing. Get it?
Oh
Meming.
my god. If you can use the memes correctly, I'm totally okay with it.
Okay.
All right, shall we get back to it?
Okay. Yes.
So I have one left, and then she has one left, and then we'll call
Is
it for the
my
night.
turn though, or is it your turn?
I
oh,
think
it's
you
your
just
turn.
read, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's my turn.
Sorry.
She's always trying to cut me out. So, moving on to the next one. I will say that doing the shows live like this has been awesome, but at the same time, it's been difficult for me in particular because before we would just record and we'd read emails, and if there was like bad spelling or really bad grammar or run-on sentence or basically anything that caused us to read through it and have to pause or, you know, just take a moment, that's stuff I can edit out, but it doesn't make for good live casting. You know what I mean? You guys
Yeah.
don't want to watch us just sit here and read an email to ourselves.
Yeah.
So starting this up, we were kind of worried because some of these aren't written very well and they're great stories, but at the same time, it's hard for us to read them like in a continuous thought. I think I've mentioned this on the show before too. Like, we need a production assistant is what I like to say. That said, my mom has volunteered, which is very nice of her because she actually listens to the podcast.
Yeah.
So for the last 2 weeks,
I walked into the house after work today, and it was playing on the iPad.
I was
like,
taking a
my
nap.
voice.
I did not feel well. I laid down to take a nap, and I was thinking of the stuff I had to do to get ready for the podcast, and I heard the theme song kick on.
Oh,
and it
really?
woke me up from my nap like, is it time? Like, did they go live without me? Even though I'm the one that controls that shit because I'm a fucking idiot. But she volunteered that I can send her emails, and I pick them based off of length. So actually, it's not true. We pick them based off of the most recent ones that we need to read, and then we divide them up based off of length.
Copyrighted Snake says, hello, Adam's mom.
Oh, right on. She'll say hello back.
Dude, she totally appreciated all the happy birthdays.
She
you
really
guys
did. It meant a lot to her. It was so
Yeah.
nice of you guys.
I think that's awesome.
But even though she listened, she was like, send me whatever emails you guys are going to read so I can proofread them for you, and then I'll send them back. So it's like she's spoiling these episodes for herself to make sure that these are like really good and readable. So if you're going to send us a story, just take a little bit of extra time with it to make sure that it's something that's easier to read, because it'll be easier on my mom.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying. But this one, she put a note in there. She's never done this for us before. We've only been doing this for 2 weeks. But at the very top, it says, okay, this one gave me chills and made me cry.
That's
So,
so sweet.
It's titled My Grandpa.
Oh.
So let's
I don't
do
like
it.
where this is going. Okay, go.
So it says, Adam and Grace.
Yo.
You're Robin.
I
But
know,
it's okay.
but it's fine.
Hello.
It's fine.
The next line is in all caps. Yo, dogs. Yo. My name is Tommy, and I've been listening to you guys on Spotify for like 4 days now, and I've been working backwards. I started at Storytime 18, and now I'm at
cool.
Storytime 9, so he's going backwards through the
quality
catalog.
is going to get
It's
worse
gonna decline.
the further back you go. Sorry.
One of my friends just started listening at episode 0, and I was like, I promise you they get better, and I promise you we start swearing less.
See, I talked to my cousin today, too, and he was like, I was telling him, like, I promise our swearing gets less the further forward you go. And
I
he was
think
like,
it's
I just listened to the most recent ones. I was like, God.
That's good. Right on. So I started Storytime 18, and now I'm at Storytime 9. So yeah, I've been listening nonstop. You
Thanks.
guys are so cute and hilarious, and I just get happy when I hear your voices. It's very nice.
That's very nice. And I know my voice can get really irritating.
Yeah, I hate my own voice.
Me too.
I hate you so much. After my experience, I instantly tried looking for something exactly like your podcast. You guys have been helping me so much after the past few days, and you will understand why in a sec.
Oh my goodness.
Uh-oh,
Okay.
the feels are cropping up.
Oh God.
So, about 2 weeks ago, my older brother and sister and myself had something we call hot tub talks. It's exactly how it sounds. We all got in the hot tub at like 9 p.m. until 3 in the morning, and we just talk about life and old times.
You
Even
must
if we're
get so wrinkly.
even if we're only 16, 17, and 20, and it is always amazing. Honestly, some of the stuff that I did like during the end of high school and then through college was very similar to that stuff where you just stay up all night and you have like deep talks with people that you really care about.
Yeah.
Those things will mean a lot to you like for the rest of your life. That's how you kind of know someone's special too, is when you can stay up all night and talk with them. So, okay, I'll keep back to it. Somehow the topic...
Stop getting all cheesy.
Shut up. Somehow the topic of my old war vet grandfather came up and we started talking about him. My grandfather has been a smoker since he retired out of the Marines at 27.
Wow, that's really young.
Yeah.
Dude.
We talked about how old he was, how he was really old, and how the smoking is killing him. We were all talking about personal experiences where he couldn't breathe and was basically dying and how scary and sad it was. And my brother went on talking about how he drives my papa, that's what we called him, to my brother's soccer practice every week and how he loves how he's always there. Then my sister would talk about how he would come to and support all her high school and college running meets.
Cool.
That's super fucking supportive. And I just stayed silent because I don't have one of those stories, considering I'm a theater kid and go to a school of the arts. I kept thinking to myself, did I let him down? Don't ever think something like that.
Yeah, and even if they never showed up, like, it's not you.
Yeah.
Don't ever think it's you.
Don't ever think that. And just because they didn't show up doesn't mean you let them down.
Yeah.
I also kept thinking about how we never got close. Then my sister and brother instantly moved on to the next subject, but I couldn't get the thought out of my head. Before we knew it, we got out of the hot tub and went to bed. This is where the scariest part comes in. I had the most distinct, vivid dream that night. In my dream, I was just in my room and my phone dinged and I got a text from my grandpa saying, "You don't know how proud I am of you."
That's so sweet.
It's super sweet. In that moment, I woke up in a sweat. I didn't know if this was my mind wanting to comfort me because all the thinking I did that night, or if it was actually him. If it was him actually feeling this way, because I don't know how the hell dreams work.
Okay.
No one does.
It's the Matrix.
Is it the Matrix?
No, but
did you see that cat twice? I did.
What cat?
Get it? Deja vu from the Matrix.
Oh, I hate you.
She brought it up and she doesn't get the reference.
I don't get it.
Getting back to the email. At this point, it's 4 a.m. and I could fall back asleep, so I went to the living room to watch TV. I couldn't fall back asleep.
Okay.
So I went to the living room to watch TV. Now it's 5-ish and I heard a knock on the door, but not just any knock. My grandfather's distinct, specific knock he always does.
What?
That's crazy. I looked out the window for his car, but it wasn't there.
Oh my God, okay.
So I made my way, getting prepared for the chills or the
Yeah.
emotions.
Yeah.
But it wasn't there. So I made my way to the front door to find no one there. Confused out of my mind, I checked our front door camera we had because it said that it did see movement. I watched for 5 minutes before I checked the door. Within those 5 minutes, not a single person showed up.
Okay.
Usually when something like this happens, I get scared as fuck. But when this happened, I just felt warm and comforted. Yet I still couldn't fall asleep, so I waited for my family to wake up. And they did, and we all went on with our day. Until that night, my mother got a call from someone saying my grandfather was pronounced dead at 4 o'clock.
Oh my God, chills. Okay.
You okay?
Yeah.
4 o'clock on the prior morning, so exactly when I woke up from the dream, and that he died from, quote, loss of airflow to the lungs, which sucks. So the smoking is something that obviously caught up with him.
Right.
And this next part gave me the best kind of chills possible.
Okay.
Whoever called my mom, and in parentheses, I'm not sure who, said when they found him in his bed, he had written but not sent a text in a group chat to my whole family saying,
No, don't tell me.
You don't know how proud I am of
Oh
all
my
of you."
God.
Stuff like this has happened before, where something happens in a dream and then it felt real, and then it happened for real. But I like to believe that this is a sign. I haven't told any of my family about this because 1, I doubt they believe me, and 2, they don't believe in any of that stuff.
Oh my God, that's such a good story.
That's all I want to share on that matter because I'm starting to tear up. LOL. Sorry if this was long and if it was sad, but I feel like you two would get a kick out of it. We definitely did. Your podcasts have helped so much. You all are awesome. Also, I'm writing this on my phone, so I'm doing a lot of...
you have to read that how it's spelled.
What?
It's y'all.
Y'all are awesome. Also, I'm writing this on my phone, so I'm doing a lot of that text talk type stuff. Sorry about the typos and stuff. It actually worked really well.
No, it's really good.
Or it was edited very well. Feel free to share this on the podcast, and I love y'all. Keep on creeping on, Tommy.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. It is such a good story.
Yeah, that was very moving.
Yeah,
and
it was very good.
I really appreciate people sharing that stuff because, like, that's what I'm talking about when I talk about the environment we want to create. Because there's a lot of times where you don't tell people stuff that are very close to you.
You
don't
want
to be judged,
yeah.
or you don't want to be told like you're fucking crazy, or you just don't think they'll believe you. So sharing that with us, we do appreciate it. And that said, like, I really hope it's real. I hope someone doesn't tell me later they saw this story on Reddit or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's super touching. So thank you one last time, Tommy, for sending that in. You made my mom cry and Robin freak out, and I think my right eye teared up a little bit.
It's
a
really good story.
It is.
I love those like heartfelt stories.
Yeah. And even though I don't know you and I don't know your grandfather, I can guarantee you he was proud of you. So don't ever think that again. So yeah, that's my last one. So
okay, let's go to stream chat.
Cool.
Will Adam's mom proofread my novel?
She is a closed captioner, so she works quite a bit. Like when you see the titles coming by on live TV, someone's doing that on a live audio feed from their house usually, and that's what my mother does. So she's quite busy, and she's taking a lot of time out of her day to help us with this stuff on Wednesdays. That said, I don't know. Maybe. I can ask her. Probably not. I won't lie to you. You're probably better off finding someone who does it for a living, because even though she writes and she can do this stuff, if you have a novel, you're gonna need someone that's like proficient at proofreading
grammar
a novel.
And stuff, Pokey Blue says you should change your scariest sign to scarish with Dave and Grace.
That's fucking hilarious.
Get the fuck out of here, Dave and Grace.
I was looking through the letters because I was gonna put Storytime on the second line and then the number of the Storytime episode on the third line. But I can't fit Storytime on there, and I can't find a number sign, and I can't find the numbers.
There's got to be numbers in there. I swear there's numbers.
Someone told us that you can just get, like, you know, the overhead projectors that teachers used in school? I don't know, like when I was a kid, that's what they used, where it's just like a fucking overhead projector with the clear cells.
With the and then you write with the
you just write whatever you want on the clear cell, and you can cut it to slide into one of those things. So we'll probably wind up doing that sooner or later.
Maybe.
Ulrich says, I love listening to you guys. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
What is the name of the podcast on Spotify? It's also Scary.
We're the Scarish podcast. So it's
the
just
parentheses fuck stuff up, and we thought it was such a clever name when we thought of it, and it has fucked up so much for us. And like the branding is important and everything.
Yeah.
But like putting a parentheses just to have the ish in there really is it's been a pain in the ass. I won't lie.
And I like it. So just type in scary parentheses or open parentheses ish close parentheses, and hopefully it'll work.
Glitch Grim says you two are goals.
Aw,
Copyrighted
thanks.
Snake says bad pun goals. Looking at you, Robin.
I like my bad puns. I don't give a fuck.
Don't think that those are like fake for the show. They happen constantly, like all the time.
Sometimes everyone in the room goes like, "No, it didn't work," and I'm just like, "I'm trying."
It's just dead silence. Like even the crickets just stare. It's just awkward.
Let's see.
777 says mind equals blown. Keb says, wow, chicken skin. Ulrich says, that is so sweet. Carly says, right in the feels. Glitch Grim says, wow, damn, that's a great story. B. Nelson says, yo, Adam's mom and I have the same job. That's awesome.
That's really cool. Wait, what company do you work for now?
Yeah, that's true. I wonder.
Okay.
Chloe says, LOL, I tell my fiance that he's only funny when I laugh at his jokes too.
That's so mean.
That's funny.
Keb says, I caught up with all the episodes. Now I'm binging Nerd Chills. Don't. I'm so sorry. Don't listen to it.
Oh, I can't believe
Skip
Nerd
the
Chills
drunk
is still
episode.
out there.
Please don't.
Nerd Chills was fun. I really enjoyed doing Nerd Chills, but the content wasn't the quality that I think we all wanted it to be. So hopefully it's not torturous to listen to it.
Glitch says you can get a glowing whiteboard. That sounds kind of cool.
That does sound cool.
Link us to where we can buy one.
777 says it's a pain in the ass-ish with the parentheses.
See what he did there.
Fear says, do any of you guys watch anime? Yeah.
Yes,
this
we
one
watch
right here.
a lot of anime. I wonder if... Look at all this manga. So much manga.
I just
Pokemon
realized
things.
that my favorite book for the last 5 years has been behind me this whole time because I want to reread it like once a year. It's called Einstein's Dreams. It's by a guy named Alan Lightman. 150 pages, super quick read. It'll blow your fucking mind. Which one's the drunk episode? God damn it. We don't have a drunk episode for Scarish.
For Nerd Chills.
For Nerd Chills,
it's 21.
It's 21
because we were old enough to drink.
The podcast is 21.
Aw, Momentai says she thinks I'm punny.
I was gonna skip over that one.
Fuck you.
B. Nelson says, I work for my school in the closed captioning department for people who are deaf / hard of hearing.
Oh, that's really cool.
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
Linda Diaz, by the way, that's my mom right there, says, hi, B. Nelson 0413.
I'm captioning the news right now, but it's still watching us.
Dude, my mom's
so nice.
My mom's a badass because like she she gets good contracts. So she gets to caption for the Chicago Cubs, the Chicago White Sox, the Chicago Bears. So all the sports teams that I grew up with. And then she gets to do news all over the country. She does talk shows for the New York Yankees. It's just a bunch of stuff. It's very hard work. It's very demanding. And she's, still fucking killing it. So it's very hard to do. But if you ever want to get into it, like it's good money. It's a lot of schooling. It's a lot of training, but you'll make good money. Drinking game. Every time Robin says "fuck you" to Adam, take a shot. You will die. You will die very quickly. Well, anybody had a crash is 777. I hope not, but hopefully it'll refresh.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Everyone's saying hi to my mom now.
I think that's hilarious. The cutest thing.
That's good stuff.
Okay, but yes, we watch anime. Lots and lots of anime.
They asked up there if you were watching Fran XX.
Oh, Darling in the Franxx? No, I haven't yet. I've wanted to. I actually wanted to read the manga first, but it's hard to come by. So I'm just waiting, and maybe I'll start it sometime soon. All I know is the main character is hot as fuck. So we'll see.
Right on.
I don't judge my animes by that, but it's also
she does.
Shut the fuck up.
It's a category she judges her animes on.
Shut up. Okay.
Fierce Sakurai says, I almost cried while watching it, and Already says, mine rebuff, but we're good. Cool. So glad you guys are still with us. I think we have...
Yeah. Adam's mom, can you show us baby pictures? No.
I was an adorable baby.
Really?
I was very, very cute.
I wasn't adorable.
Yeah. We have one left, right? That's you?
Oh, it's me. Okay. All right. So, wait, were you going to read Tim's story now?
I already did.
Oh, man. I'm dumb. Okay. So, this one is from Shyla. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Sometimes I read it and I think it's spelled or said a certain way, but it's not. So, sorry.
You're doing great.
It goes, Hello.
Hello.
I have a story I'd like to share. I was just listening to the Storytime episode 1. And it made me remember something that happened not too long ago. I didn't experience this firsthand, but to witness it happen was extremely chilling, but also kind of soothing. Ooh, I like the way this. Okay. Anyway, so basically, my grandmother was diagnosed with cancer a few years back. I don't like where this is going. It was a tough struggle for her and the entire family. From the time she was diagnosed until her unfortunate death in January of 2018, I'm so sorry, she fought for a number of years. Near the final weeks/months of her life, she had to move in with my family, and because she wasn't legally able to live by herself anymore, she needed someone to take care of her. It's really nice that your family took that responsibility to take care of her, because it's not easy.
Very
it's
hard
really
to take
hard
care
to
of
do.
someone like that, yeah.
Of course, my mom and my entire family were more than welcomed her. It was genuinely really nice getting to spend the last bit of her life with her so closely, as me and her didn't exactly have the closest of relationships. I'm very guilty of not having a very close relationship to my grandparents. It's kind of really hard, especially when there's that huge generational gap or the language gap. Sometimes that's really hard.
Yeah. My grandparents on my father's side only spoke Spanish, so I never got to have like a sit down conversation with either of my grandparents.
Yeah.
Without like a translator there. I had a dream one time when my grandfather was in it. I've only dreamt of my grandfather one time since he died, and he died when I was 13. I'm 33. And he was speaking. I'm fine. Okay. My voice is a little shaky, but no, he was speaking in Spanish to me, and I broke down in my dream because I couldn't understand him. Yeah. And I was like, God damn it! Why haven't I learned this yet?
Learn Spanish now. You can.
Okay, I'll go do that right now.
Thanks. That's what Rosetta Stone's for.
I will say, Robin's grandfather is my fucking hero. Never met him. What I do know about him, though, is that I don't know if it's a cultural thing or if it's like an age thing or if it's just whatever he wants to fucking do, but when he travels from place to place, once he gets to the place he's going, not like a restaurant or anything, but if he's going from house to house, when he gets there, he takes off his pants. He gets fucking comfy. He just takes his pants off. And I think I cannot fucking wait to do that. I need to know what age I need to be when I can start just going to family members' houses and being like, oh, thank God I'm in the door.
Let's say 60.
Pants off. 60?
60, and okay. I'll allow you to do that to our kids.
I cannot wait to do this. It's genius.
Okay. Continuing the email and getting away from stupid anecdotes like that. Everyone knew she was going to pass. It was inevitable. Every day she was slowly progressing, and it was truly heartbreaking to watch. It still makes me extremely sad to think about how getting near the end, she was able to talk to family members who were deceased. That's intense.
We keep hearing that. Every story time we hear about people talking to people that aren't there or have passed away. So that's just a very, very common thing.
Like my grandfather, her husband, and my cousin Jackson. She was able to see them and communicate with them. So one day, I come home from school and this woman, Bertha, was taking care of her while I was there. I come back and ask B if anything happened. She pulled me into this other room, has a really concerned look on her face, and she says, earlier today, Bessie was talking to somebody named Jackson. Sorry. Gross. Coffee burp. I stood there in shock, like I was shook to my core. I thought it was so spooky, but at the same time, a little heartwarming since I knew she loved him very, very much. Another thing that was very similar to that was when she had seen my grandfather when she was in the hospice. We all knew it was the very end at that time. She needed full-time care, which we couldn't provide anymore. So my mother and I were there one day. I'm feeding her some applesauce, I think, nice and slow. She said she had enough, so I go to clean up the area, make sure it's clean so the nurses don't have to do extra work, and my grandmother is just looking at the ceiling, and my mom goes, "What do you see, Mom? Can you see Dad?" And my grandmother smiles and says, "Yes." I have chills right now, dude. That moment made me very emotional because I knew their relationship was so, so special. I truly believe they were soulmates. The last and final time something spooky like that happened was during one of the last days she was alive, possibly even the last day. To continue, she was sedated the entire time those past few days because the pain was too much for her. She was sleeping the entire time when all of a sudden she wakes up from her deep sleep and has this really dazed look on her face, and all of us family members were like, "Hi, Grandma, are you okay?" She couldn't respond. She just stared at this area of the room, looking startled, and then fell back asleep. Nobody in my family can really explain it, but it was so, I don't know, or I don't want to say creepy, but I just genuinely hope whatever she saw was good and wasn't something bad. I would hope that too. Like, I hope she didn't see like a Grim Reaper or something crazy.
It's weird to think, but I'm like really grateful that we do this podcast because like I really hope to live a very long life. You know, and make a lot of people sad when I eventually die.
You're so
But like when that time comes, having known all of these different experiences, like I feel like sooner or later you're going to see something, you know, when you're very old and you're on your deathbed that you can't explain. That doesn't necessarily mean it's malevolent or out to get you. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's one of those things where like I've heard this before in my life, like assume positive intent. Like your life will go a lot easier and you'll have a lot less stress if you just assume positive intent, regardless of the situation. So if it's like something to take you away, or if it's just like a precursor to like your death, like it doesn't necessarily have to be something that scares you, even though if it's something that makes you like very shocked or surprised to see it.
Yeah.
So it's like going into something like unknown, regardless of what it is. Like I think everyone can meet those situations with fear, but having that in my head, like assume positive intent, like thinking about that, like I hope they had a life where they could see something like that at the end and not be scared, because seeing your grandparents scared on their deathbed, it's got to be like a horrific thing to see. But like the fact that she just described it as like they looked like surprised or like curious as to what they're looking at, not exactly scared, that they can actually say in this email where it's like, I'm not sure, I hope it wasn't something that scared them. Like it gives you more peace of mind that way.
I agree.
Weird tangent, my bad, dogs.
It continues, my family and I were coming home from Toronto and we were almost there, one of the last stretches. It was in the middle of winter, so it's fucking freezing. During a storm, and it was dead quiet. The highways were shut down, but we kept trucking. That's insane. Highways are closed down, but like you're still going? How do you do that?
Well, it's like usually you're stuck on the fucking highway when they close it down.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's like you're on the highway when it's open, then they close it, which doesn't mean anything other than they just tell people they can't get on it anymore.
Oh.
And like it's happened to me one time during a blizzard where I was like, cool, only 2.5 more hours through the snow on this fucking freeway before I can get to my exit. So
okay.
Yeah, it's a terrifying experience.
We wanted to get home. Anyway, in the rearview mirror, my dad looks out the window into it, and in the distance, he sees this old-ass black car. As we're still driving, doing our thing, it comes to pass us very slowly. He looks out the window. I have chills right now. I'm so scared of what I'm going to... Okay. He looks out the window to see who's inside, but the windows were completely black, could not see who was driving. After a moment or two, the car passes us and books it down the highway. Eventually, we can no longer see this car, but the taillights and everything just disappeared, and that was it. My dad is very, very convinced that it was some sort of devil or something because it was seriously so fucking creepy. I'd be fucking creeped out too.
Just a little bit.
Car? No, I'm good. Fuck that. We haven't experienced anything since, but it still spooks the lot of us to this day. We can't explain it. I know it doesn't sound as good as I'm typing this, but I swear this car had vibes like nothing I had ever felt before. Another thing I forgot to mention was that the car tire tracks eventually disappeared, and there were no turnoffs or anything. There wasn't
I had a feeling
any
that was coming.
dips or a place that had been driven on, and it's got snowed on. Okay. Boop. I don't know how to read. Hold on.
It's like filling in a rut, basically.
Yeah, there was nothing. It was like this car completely fucking disappeared. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's super crazy and super fucking creepy. So it just occurred to me, well, before I get to that, thank you so much for sending that in. We really appreciate that. We have two really heartwarming like grandparent stories. So
Oh, we do? Okay.
I mean, we did. You had one and I had one.
Oh, right.
Yes, that's happened. That's the past now.
Oh.
So I'm just saying thank you to those for sending that in, and we really, really appreciate that. It occurs to me that I told you during something like, don't let me forget to talk about this, and now I've completely forgotten what it was that I was going to bring up.
Out-of-body experience.
Out-of-body experience, yes.
You're welcome, everybody.
Thank you. So, yeah, I guess to finish out the episode, I'll just go ahead and let you guys know. Oh, look, we had a donation via Bits. Ms. Deasy has used 100 bits.
Thank you.
Thanks for the entertainment while I drive to work. I can't listen to these at home alone. I can't listen to these at home alone due to my active imagination.
That's hilarious.
I totally understand that. But yeah, I have only had an out-of-body experience one time. What I'm about to tell you is 100% true. And I thought about this recently, and every now and then for years I'll go without thinking about it, and I forget that it happened. But it was before I was 7 years old. So I'm going to guess like 4 or 5. And we had a swimming pool where I grew up, and I had floaties, obviously, and I had to have my parents' permission to go in the pool. One thing I remembered about this pool is that it had like a ladder to it that needed to be folded down, and you couldn't get up there without an adult like lowering it. It was very smart of the adults to do that so that kids like me who are idiots wouldn't just run and jump in. And we had family over one day, and the ladder was down, so I ran and jumped in, and I didn't have my floaties on, water wings, whatever you call them. And I don't know how long I was underwater, but I remember thinking to myself at some point, like, I am going to die because I couldn't breathe and all the air was leaving my lungs. And right before I passed out, I saw myself. I swear to God, I will never forget this. It was like I was in front of myself, just looking at myself, and I was looking at how deep the pool was and my full body kicking and struggling, trying to make it to the surface, and my hand up, and I remember I was holding my hand up hoping someone would notice, and knowing that where everyone was inside, they weren't going to be able to see my hand, and I could just see myself. And the last thing I thought before I passed out was like, I'm going to die like this. And the next thing I remembered is something yanking me out of the fucking water, like as fast as I went into it, just pulling me right out, turning and dropping me on the deck, the wooden deck, and just coughing up water.
That's
and
crazy.
That was my cousin Ryan. My cousin Ryan saved my life when I was a kid.
Ow, we're gonna go see him get married too.
He's getting married too.
Okay.
So we got the save the date thing, and I was like, oh my God, like I totally forgot I almost died. I totally forgot the reason I'm afraid of drowning, like via death, is because I almost drowned when I was a kid.
I almost drowned when I was 3 years old, I think, and I walked straight into the pool. Just walked straight into the pool, and my dad had to like run over and grab my like leg out of the water and pull me up out of the water.
It's crazy.
It's
very terrifying. Having Robin's 4-year-old niece here and her being obsessed with the pool, I was like, it's just like I was when I was a kid. So every time she wanted to swim, I was like, I'm going to make sure, since I am unemployed right now and I am at home a lot, I will make sure that she's never near that pool without me nearby. So, plus her parents were both here, and they're very attentive and good parents. I'm not saying my parents weren't good parents when I almost drowned. I was just a very sneaky asshole kid.
I think back then, it wasn't as intense as it is now when it comes to watching your kids. Because back then, it's like latchkey kids, where you're just like, yeah, here's a key. Walk yourself home.
But I wasn't a latchkey kid at 4 years old. You know what I mean? It was more like 6.
That's still really young.
It's still really young.
Now, I would never leave my kids alone. Fuck that.
I would leave my kids alone if they knew how to lock the doors. It's very weird living in America and talking to people who live in different countries. Like people in Canada, they're like, why do you lock your doors? It's like, because my house has been broken into before. Like, that's why I lock my doors.
Yeah, back in the day, I think when I lived in Hawaii, like, it was like, we don't lock our doors. Fuck it. But
yeah, I remember when I was growing up, I was like 19 or 20. It was like the first place I got. Like, we locked our doors because there was 3 of us, and I didn't want to be responsible for my friend's shit going missing. And then when I got my own place, I was like, I want my friends to know that I'm always there for them, so my door is always going to be open. And within 6 months, my apartment was broken into, and I'm like, my friends can fuck off. They can text me if they want to come in, because I'm not having my apartment broken into again. So cool. Fun tangents to end the show. So
well, let's go to the stream chat now.
I agree.
Glitch says Discord, Robin, it's there. I totally don't remember what you're talking about.
I think that has to do with the baby pictures, maybe, because right above it is someone saying, Adam's mom, can you show us baby pictures?
Oh.
I don't know. I don't remember the context either. Sorry about that, guys.
Grandpa No Pants? Yes, my grandpa,
it's awesome.
He's weird.
777 says it's scientifically proven and recognized as part of the dying process when it comes to seeing your deceased relatives as you pass. So I know I've heard of that, and I've heard it's like hallucinations that you see when you die. It's the chemicals being released into your brain. But even the scientific explanations for most of it are only for like when you're passing, because as your brain dies, it's releasing those chemicals, and it just causes a bunch of different crazy things to happen.
Orika Wolf says, my grandpa started talking to my grandma who passed before him. He died 5 years after her to the day.
Wow.
What are the odds?
It's crazy to me that he lived for 5 years after her. A lot of people that are like together for that long go so close together.
Yeah, it's intense.
777 also said people who are dying usually stare to the upper left and talk to dead relatives and other supernatural beings. That's good to know. Up and to the left. Good to know. Carly says sweet elderly people stories are just the best. I don't know why I left the T off of that. Kim says shout out to the haunted mansion mug. Exactly.
Yeah. Disney stuff.
The other side is the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah,
it has the dog holding the keys in its mouth too.
Thank you, Amy, for the lovely, awesome mug. And then Linda says Lady Gaga's song "Edge of Glory" is about her grandpa dying, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's totally true. It changes the song for you entirely when you know that. That's my mom, so I know because she's told me the story before. But she was on Howard Stern, and my mom captions the Howard Stern show. At least she used to. And before they had her on, they were like, I wonder if we can get her to ride the Sibian machine, which is like a machine that has a dildo that has sex with you while you're on it.
It doesn't necessarily have a dildo. There's different parts.
Oh, my bad. Robin's the Sibian machine expert. That must be what's in that locked room in the house.
Fuck you.
But anyways, so they were talking about all this crazy stuff they were hoping to get her to do, and then she showed up, and she was very classy, and they had this like really good interview with her where they actually learned a bunch of stuff, and that interview, she told them that like Edge of Glory she wrote while she was next to her grandfather while he was on his deathbed.
Keb says best cousin ever. He's the reason why we have Scary-ish.
He is. Honestly, like I always forget about it, and it's just like he totally saved my life. And guess what he does now as an adult? He's an EMT. He saves lives for a living. So
nice.
Yeah. Chloe says, what is an extremely underrated manga you recommend?
Oh my goodness. There's one that I absolutely love that took me forever to find all the volumes because it's so old now. It's by Mayu Shinjo, I think. Let me look it up. I need to tell you because it's my favorite manga of all time.
While you look that up, I'll read some more Twitch chat. Damn it. Stream chat. 777 says, when I was in New Zealand, we didn't ever lock the doors. Copyrighted Snake says, when I lived in Brazil, we triple locked the doors. Carly says, Glitch was talking about a link to the glowing whiteboard in the Discord. Okay, that totally makes sense. Thank you so much.
Okay, so my favorite manga of all time, sorry, I need to tell you, it's called Kaikon Phrase or Central Phrase, and it's just, I love it, but it's very not for kids. It's like a rated
X?
Not X.
For sexy times?
Well, there are sexy times, but it's more for adults. And
so like NC-17?
I don't think it's NC-17 necessarily, but
do you get full bush at any point?
No.
Okay, well, it's not that bad.
But it's really good, and that's my favorite. I think right now the one that I really, really, really like is Everybody's Getting Married. That's one of my favorite. I'm just
when she finishes reading that one, every time she gets in the mail, she starts like whimpering as she's getting towards the last pages because she's like, no,
yeah,
it's almost done.
I love it. Well, the series is over now. There's an anime on it, or a live action, I think. But and then the one that I'm waiting for each volume to come out in America is Waiting for Spring, and that one's like half basketball, half romance, and it's really interesting. But I read way too many. I still have a stack over here that I haven't read yet. The Sherlock Holmes comics, the Sherlock Holmes like manga that came out, you should totally read those. Those are like almost exactly like the TV show on the BBC, so it's really good.
Ulrich says Library Wars.
Oh yes, Library Wars is really
manga.
good too. That's back there. There's Library Wars back here.
I wonder if they recognized it back here on the
Dengeki Daisy. I love that one. That one's really good.
777 says, is it Josie? Is that what it is?
Which one?
I don't know.
For what?
For what 777 said.
Oh, Jose? I don't know. Oh no. I don't know.
These are up to you. I don't know what. I'll mark that.
Thanks. I've heard of Angel Densetsu before. I might have already read it. I've read so many in my lifetime. I have like chests full of manga, but yeah, I love manga. So good. So good.
Right on.
Let's see what else is there. You already read the New Zealand one, right?
No.
Oh, New Zealand, we didn't lock doors.
Oh yeah, that's way far behind.
Brazil, yeah, we triple locked doors, all that.
Go to the
stuff.
bottom. We're all caught up.
Oh, okay, cool. Sexy Times. Did you see the manga that was translated into Australian English? Wait, what manga? What? I want to know.
I don't know. Ask. They're
that'd
talking
be really
to
cool.
you. Yeah. Linda Diaz says, "I will find a baby pic of Adam."
Oh yes, I also have Queen's Quality. That's sitting right here.
I would only request to Linda that you find a baby pic of Adam that doesn't include Dingle Donger in it. So I know there's one.
Really?
So don't. Yes.
I want to see it.
It's in my baby pic book, whatever they call it. My grandmother made it for me.
I'll see that one.
I'm sure you will.
Okay, but yeah, we're out of stories for this week. So
yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll just do the normal sign out and then just be done with the night, and we'll let you guys go back to your lives.
Yes.
This is a really long episode.
This is really long. I can't believe it's almost 2 hours.
Yeah. So we'll release you guys. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us because we almost maintained our numbers the entire time throughout this podcast. So
don't forget to subscribe. We have subscriptions now. Pick up some bits. Bits are awesome.
We really, really appreciate you guys so much.
Yeah, and don't forget, follow us on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, obviously.
By the time, actually in like the next couple days, we're going to get our customized YouTube channel, and I'm really excited to see what's available.
I'm really excited.
So we can make it a really easy name, because right now it's so freaking long, but I'll do the normal sign-out stuff, I guess.
Yeah, and then patreon.com/scaryish-podcast, coffee.com, so ko-fi.com/scaryish-podcast for one-time donations to help us upgrade our video setup. What else do we have?
I'll take over now. If you guys want to email us and send us your particular homegrown horrors, you can email storytime@scaryish.com. If you'd like to check out our Facebook page, we're almost at 500 likes, and a new giveaway will begin once we get there.
Yes.
And that is facebook.com/scaryish-podcast. You can message us there. You can also join the group, which is the Spooky Friends Scaryish group. I can't remember exactly what it's called.
Spooky
Doesn't matter.
Friends, yeah.
Join the group. Instant feedback. Plenty of memes. It's very fun. You can also join the Discord. We post it in there all the time for you guys to find it. The Discord is very, very fun as well.
Yeah.
If you want to tweet at us at Scaryish-Pod, and Robin already did the stuff like Patreon and Ko-fi. So if you guys want to give us money, that's a good way. You can also do it during the live episodes. And if you don't know how to watch a live episode, you can check out any of those things, and you'll be able to find our YouTube channel, it's totally free. You don't have to pay anything to watch, and it's just a YouTube live channel that you go to every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time.
Yep.
Or you can go to twitch.tv/scaryish-podcast and watch us there. It's also free there. And you can donate money to us in those places as well.
Don't forget that on Patreon, once we get to 50 patrons, we are trying to set up going to
a meetup
at the Winchester Mansion.
Very excited.
So the more patrons we get, the closer we get to that goal, and the closer we get to actually going out there and hanging out with you guys. We did post a picture that was posted in the Facebook group earlier today of a whole bunch of you wearing the scary shirts.
The I Was
so
First.
Shout out to Sunny and his friends, Jimmy and Tons. So you guys are fucking awesome.
And for your information, we actually didn't post that. They posted
it in the Scary-ish
Facebook
Facebook
they all
group,
went out together and they all wore their shirts. It's really the first unofficial meet and greet group.
Not meet and greet, but like a meetup.
Yeah, group meetup for Scary-ish, and they just did it independently all on their own.
Yeah,
and I think it's awesome.
Show us pictures of you guys out in the wild using your shirts with your friends and stuff. I think that's awesome.
It's super awesome. We appreciate you guys so very, very much.
Yeah, can't do it without you, for real.
We really can't. So I think that's just about everything that we have for the show this week. So it's been super fun. I know it's been 2 hours, but I have a blast doing this every week. So thank you guys for coming out.
Yeah.
The participation in the chat is always amazing. You guys make this so much fun to do.
You guys make it so fun.
We really hope you enjoy it too. So that's the last thing I'll say. I will do the sign out this week. So keep on creeping on. Is that how it goes?
Yeah.
I don't even remember anymore.
Keep on creeping on. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye. No, bye. For real. Bye.
Okay, bye.